with highs near 71. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. I was disheartened to see the death toll climb from Hurricane Ian. I think we knew that it would, and especially considering all the damage that it did in southwestern Florida. I'm surprised it's not more, but I'm also... I was disheartened by the uptick in numbers. I'm also heartened by just watching the recovery efforts. It's rescue, it's recover, and it's what Americans do best is rebuild. And that's what's going on down now in Lee County and other parts of southwest Florida.
Unfortunately, I do think you'll see that number rise as the recovery efforts continue. And you're seeing a little bit of a discrepancy in the numbers. So NBC had their total at 87 this morning. However, the Associated Press still lists the total number of fatalities in Florida, North Carolina, and Cuba at 68. So there's a little bit of a difference in the numbers coming in. But you're right. It's great to see the spirit of America come together and help those who need this. And I'm not just saying this because it's Florida and it's a red state or whatever. If there were a massive earthquake or something that would rock California, I would hope people would put their politics aside and say, you know what, let's help some people here. Let's do the right thing. And I think it's honest assessment. There are people that were rooting for big numbers of deaths in Florida. There are some horrible people on the internet. We've seen them. They've been retweeted a number of different times from different people. They were rooting for Mar-a-Lago to get blasted. They were hoping Ron DeSantis would screw up.
Yeah, that's
so they
what
could
it was.
Wag their finger at him and say, you're not presidential material. You're not even governor material. People are so into their politics, they were hoping for disaster.
Well, seeing as how DeSantis is up 8 or 9 points in Florida, and he won in 2018 by less than a point, is saying something. I think he's doing an incredible job down there.
Indiana's Task Force 1, they're still down in Florida.
That's awesome.
They put out a tweet last night that said they were still conducting searches in Fort Myers and the beach areas that were just the hardest hit by the hurricane. Quote, the team is working neighborhood to neighborhood, clearing communities affected by Hurricane Ian. We have also listened to citizens tell us their stories of survival during the storm. Now, according to the Florida Division of Emergency Management, crews like Indiana's Task Force 1 have rescued more than 1,600 people statewide.
It's unbelievable. And who do we talk to? Mark Herrera is a guy that we talked to Friday on the program. He's a seasoned law enforcement official that specializes in training first responders in extreme situations. These guys are down there are risking their lives. I mean, there is some volatile conditions down there after a hurricane slides through. There's wildlife. I didn't even think about the wildlife misplacement of alligators. There's chemicals that could be in some of the flooded waters that they have to wade through to check and see if there are human lives still at risk. There is all sorts of things, down to power lines in the middle of puddles of water that you have to be careful. So many things could go wrong when you're trying to rescue people in the aftermath of a hurricane.
Deanne Criswell is one of the admins of FEMA. She talked about the recovery efforts.
While we certainly hope that we can continue to find more people alive and bring them out, we're going to support the state and their needs as we continue to go house by house and make sure that everybody's accounted for.
Now, meanwhile, the Indiana National Guard, they were sent back home.
Oh, now, really?
What's interesting is that I've got some friends and family that are down there. They've got some rental properties, some timeshare places that have been completely destroyed.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
And they're wondering why anybody was sent back home.
Oh, really?
So, it's a little interesting that the Indiana National Guard was sent back. Basically, they were told, listen, we've got enough people down here. You guys go do something else. We got an update on the scumbag that shot and ultimately killed Richmond police officer Ciara Burton. His court appearance has been pushed back by 2 months. Now, before anybody starts freaking out about what's going on here, is there some sort of sweetheart plea deal? I believe this is just so they can update the charges against this guy, because the original court appearance, which was scheduled to be coming up, did not have a murder charge on it.
She was still alive at that point. When
She
they
was
scheduled
still
it. Yeah.
alive at that time. So as of September 18th, there was no murder charge against Lee. That's the last name of the scumbag that killed him. I know we hate to give these people's names, but I want you guys to be in the loop here.
Well, hopefully the murder charge is going to be tacked on along with an effort to seek the death penalty.
Correct.
My personal opinion, I don't know how the family feels about that. We always defer to the families of the victims when it comes to that sort of thing. But yeah, obviously a death penalty is due here.
He's now scheduled to appear before a jury right after Christmas, December 27th. His attorney requested a continuance, and the prosecutors, of course, did not object. And now they've got more time to work on a murder charge, whether or not this is something they want to pursue the death penalty on now that a police officer has passed away. Which brings us to the weekend crime numbers, something Nigel and I do every Monday here on this program. Over the weekend here in Indianapolis, at least 13 people shot, 3 stabbed, 3 killed. Now, there was a bizarre hostage situation that was taking place on the southwest side yesterday.
I saw that.
Near Holt Road area. It was a domestic dispute. And like a lot of times, the officers said that this was a place they were familiar with. They had been there multiple times, and when they got there, there was a domestic dispute. The ex-boyfriend had a gun. Next thing you know, SWAT team has to arrive. They barge in. They eliminate the threat. They shoot and kill this guy because he did have a weapon, and everybody got out safely that was innocent.
You mean they didn't call a social worker in first?
They did not call a social worker in first.
So 13 people shot, 3 stabbed, and 3 unfortunate homicides in the city. And I always like to compare our weekends with Chicago's. It's about double that. So, in terms of per capita, we're breaking even here. 6 killed and 28 people wounded over the weekend in Chicago.
Yeah, that's not good if you're Indianapolis. And the thing is, this is a mild weekend in Indianapolis. Only 3 killed. This is kind of the bar that we've set for ourselves in this city. There used to be a time where this city was under 100 homicides throughout the year. And it wasn't that long ago. And the thing that really fires me up more than anything else is when I see people like Ryan Mears, the prosecutor of Marion County, and those that carry his water trying to do a victory lap. Well, the crime is down this year. You didn't have a mass shooting like FedEx. There were a couple mass shootings in Indianapolis last year. You add those to the mix or take them out, however you want to talk about it, we're pretty much on par with last year. We're down technically, but you take out a few mass shootings like the ones that took place, last year, we're right there.
What'd your old man say to Hogsett at the Beach Grove parade when he walked by their house and they started booing? What was and Hogsett went up to him, right?
Right. Hogsett said that the homicide numbers were down and crime was down. And my dad said, there's nowhere to go but down. Last year was a record year. You're not supposed to set a record every year. And this city is on pace for 200 homicides again, and that would put it in the top 2 or 3 of all time in the history of Indianapolis. So don't buy that crap coming out of the mayor's office or the prosecutor's office that crime is somehow substantially down. We might not set a record this year because there's not major mass killings like at the FedEx factory, but it's still a mess. It's real bad. All right, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about what's going on with the roads. Matt Bear.
East side, southbound 465, slows from 70 down to Washington. That's stop and go traffic. And then on the south side, eastbound 465 at Slow Roll Man Road over to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. If you need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And you can follow us us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on Truth Social, but we don't really do a lot there. I'm just being honest with you guys. Look for Hammer and Nigel, at Hammer and Nigel. We're streaming live on YouTube right now as well. Look for WIBC on YouTube. We got 2 cameras in the studio here. 69 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We've got Guy Relford coming in studio here in about 15 minutes for Monday Gun Day. But coming up next, our producer, TK Dub. He was at the Colts game yesterday. Did he wear all Titans gear in the company seats, in the corporate seats? We'll talk about that and his game day experience next.
An event no one believed would be allowed to happen again. A very special evening with Tony Katz.
I avoid the use of the words dumb and stupid.
Kendall and Casey.
They're just strapping you in. Go for it.
Hammer and Nigel.
It's loud, it's chaotic.
And special guests. It's the 2022 edition of A Night with WIBC. It'll be informative, it'll be funny, and it won't be PC. Thursday, October 27th at the Schwartz Center on the beautiful campus of Butler University. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
You got enough to be worried about in your life right now. Family, kids, school, sports. The last thing you need is to be worried about whether or not your furnace is going to go out this winter. That's why you need to rely on your local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Family, Heating and Air, the Morris family and the staff ready to hook you up this fall. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today for your furnace tune-up and make sure that it's running safely and efficiently. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion if you've already got a quote from another company. If something doesn't feel right, call Family because nobody cares for you like family. Ask about better indoor air quality as well. 317-577-8077. Family Heating and Air, 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
My name is Megan Davis, and I am the Director of Training and Communications here at the Humane Society for Hamilton County. We nominated Trudy because she truly embodies our mission and message of whatever it takes.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
I think what the most important thing to me is when we get dogs in that are so scared, I just love to take these dogs under my wing. I need my vehicle to be in top shape because I'm driving here 6 days a week.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year. Whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site, Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
My name is Sophie.
Sasha.
Robert. Ron. And I'm alive thanks to my nurse practitioner.
My nurse practitioner saved me from a lifelong heart condition.
She prescribed the right medication.
My NP diagnosed my multi-organ failure.
My NP listens.
She saved my life.
Twice.
And I will always be grateful.
To learn why millions of people choose NPs, visit us at wechoosenps.org.
Paid for by AANP.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work.
It's time to learn the truth about probiotics from Align, the probiotic brand recommended by gastroenterologists 2 times more than any other probiotic brand. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel at AlignProbiotics.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
And we're back. The Hammer and and Nigel Show. 93 WIBC.
What, is this a nitty-gritty dirt band? Is that what it is?
A little fishing in the dark.
The controversy that's gone viral over the weekend is this fishing tournament. These guys at this fishing tournament got caught cheating and stuffing their fish with these giant weights to make them, I don't know. I don't know how it works in fishing tournaments. Yeah, I mean, they make them heavier, so the heavier they are, the heavier they are, the more money they get or whatever.
Right, that's how you win the competition.
So we'll break that down in just a second. I don't know that we could play the audio. It was pretty...
There's nothing we can play of that audio at all.
It's so nuts, though. But first, the Colts game, 24-17, the final score. Titans beat the Colts at Lucas Oil. Titans didn't score in the second half, which makes this even worse.
Especially for over bettors. Those lying, no good, rotten Titans and the Colts.
How much did you miss the over by?
2 points. So if the new kicker would have hit the 51-yarder that he shouldn't have been kicking in the first place, I would have cashed in. But the fact that I only got 7 whole points in the entire second half of these bad football teams, what an awful game, what an awful day.
And who was representing us in the station Colts seats? Who was representing the Hammer and Nigel show? Somebody in a Titans jersey. That would be our producer, Kyle Wells, a.k.a. Mega Mondo. All right, Mondo, did you indeed wear Titans gear in the station seats?
I did. I wore my Derrick Henry jersey. Yeah. However, Lucas Oil Stadium is very beautiful. I definitely took the time during that terrible football game to just look around and really appreciate the beauty that is Lucas Oil Stadium. Because I sat, not only was I in the company seats up in the 616 station section.
They gave you the nosebleed seats.
Yeah, but okay, so you weren't up there with the new owners of the company.
No. I was up in the nosebleeds.
They've got different seats all over that place. Some down low, some in the suites, some up high.
But as I think
hold on. I think because of what happened last time, that's why you got stuck up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah. Sure. I'll sit wherever. Beggars can't be choosers. But what I noticed was there were so many empty seats, not just at the end of the game, but throughout the entire game. I mean, where were the Colts fans at yesterday?
Where were the Colts at yesterday? That's my question.
The Colts weren't there on the field, and the Colts fans weren't there in the stands. I mean, that was my 19th Titans-Colts game. So from experience, this was the worst looking game that I've sat in. Not only what I saw on the field from both teams, but just looking around the stadium, man, it was pathetic and sad in there.
Were there audible boos? I wasn't watching closely on TV. I was doing stuff kind of in the background. I had the game on the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
But the boos were audible when you were there? I mean, you said you heard on TV, didn't you?
Yeah.
Hammer?
Chase McLaughlin got booed out of the city when he missed that field goal.
But the thing is, I don't think the fans were booing the miss. Why are you kicking a field goal down 7 with 2 minutes left? Oh, you're going to cut it to 4? You still need a touchdown. What are we doing?
I told Hammer this before we came on the air. The 2 loudest, biggest pops that I heard yesterday were when Shaq Leonard, formerly known as Darius Leonard, got introduced during the introduction.
Oh, yeah, it was his first game back.
That was a big pop. And then during the game when they showed the score to the Jaguars-Eagles game, those were the 2 loudest cheers that you heard throughout the entire game.
Yeah,
that's real bad. That's the biggest roar from the crowd when they showed the Jags score. How bad is that?
So how do you feel, Hammer? I really don't care that he's wearing Titans gear if he was sitting in the nosebleeds.
If he's in the nosebleeds, that's fine.
Did you get to move down at all?
I did, man. I started in the 600 level, and I made my way down into the 400 level. And if I wanted to, I probably could have been in the 100 level. I'm telling you guys, it was bad. It was sad.
So it was 24-3 at one point. At that point, did the joint start to empty out?
Yeah.
I mean, it was still the first half.
Yeah, I told Nigel this. People left at halftime, and they didn't come back.
Wow.
And I saw droves. I mean, I'm talking thousands and thousands of fans. They hit the exits at halftime. And one Colts fan, it's always funny because people think I'm not from here when I do wear my Titans gear. So they're always like, oh, man, how was the drive, up to Indy? And I'm like, well, I live here. So the drive was easy for me. But Man, one Colts fan said, he goes,
all right, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Kyle's talked way too long in this break. We told him we wanted to share his game day experience, and now he's doing like a 15-minute monologue. Remind me never, ever again to ask Kyle anything.
You wrote it down on the...
I know, and I even told him, I was like, hey, we just need your recap of your game day experience. Now he's talking about his damn drive into the ballpark. Thanks.
Well, I think I saw the Biden impressions.
So in Ohio...
really rattling my brain.
In Ohio...
Losing my thought over here.
The fishing scandal.
Is that where it was, Ohio?
Yeah, Lake Erie. I've got the video posted on our Facebook and Twitter. Now, there's a lot of filth, filth in the video, so...
Too much for us to even bleep out.
Right.
But these guys caught these other dudes cheating.
Right. This was a big competition, like a walleye competition, and the top prize, I think, was like $29,000. So this is competitive, big-time fishing, and these dudes... I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they've won over hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cash and prizes.
So that means they've been cheating pretty much the whole time. If they were doing it at this tournament.
Right. So things got a little squirrely when these guys put their bucket of fish on the scale, and it looked like the same as everybody else, but it was substantially heavier.
Yeah.
And these guys are like, wait a minute, those 5-6 fish, why do they weigh this and his weighs something different?
They started cutting them open, and there were metal weights in there, like little ball weights.
Right.
That they had stuffed down their throats to make them heavier.
And other fillets, like other fish fillets were stuffed in there too.
Yeah.
And the video is insane because the guy that busts them, like at the beginning of the video, and again, it's on our Facebook and Twitter, he ejects these guys like he's a Major League Baseball umpire. There's weights in the fish! And he throws them out.
They were threatening to call the cops on the guys.
Well, the prosecutor is involved now because they're wondering if this has been a big scam where they've basically been embezzling money, cheating money, and now the Ohio prosecutor is involved.
And it's interesting because, like, everybody's saying, why were these guys freaking out? It's a fishing tournament. Calm down. It's fish. And some guy posted on our Hammer Nigel Facebook page. He's from Beech Grove. His name's Devin. Apparently, he enters these tournaments a lot. And he says, quote, there's a lot that goes into it. Most guys are running boats that range from $70,000 to $100,000, trucks that range from $50,000 to $100,000 in equipment and entry fees. You combine that investment along with the competitive nature of these tournaments. People are going to be passionate about trying to finish on top. He also says you're never going to stop cheating in this sport either.
Wow.
This is a guy that posted on our page that apparently enters a lot of these tournaments. So
I get why people are ticked off. I mean, if this is your livelihood, if this is how you make a living, competitive fishing, these guys are taking food off your table by cheating. I totally get it. I'm 100% in. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get Internet Security and Voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
From the beginning to the bell ringing and on to bigger, better things, Franciscan Health's cancer specialists in Indiana and Illinois provide care before, during, and beyond your treatment. We get to know you, your family, and sometimes even your pets. We are dedicated to fighting your cancer because your life matters. For advanced treatments, clinical trials, nurse navigators, and compassionate teams of experts who specialize in every cancer type, make an appointment at franciscanhealth.org/cancercare.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to serve our local community through financial guidance and community investment. Offering sound advice and actionable insight, Busey builds financial strength, supports homeownership dreams, and offers customized lending strategies, connecting with our neighbors to build stronger communities. Busey Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Recovery is courage. In a culture where there's a stigma around recovery, I've learned to have the courage to tell my story to inspire courage in others. I know one of the hardest things to do is to have the courage to start recovery. I've gotten to live the life of my dreams simply by having the courage to say, it is time for a change in my life. Find the courage to live a healthier you by visiting landmarkrecovery.com or call 1-866-LANDMARK today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Going overseas to help Indiana. Sunny and 69 on Monument Circle. Radar is clear. A low of 39 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. The governor's trip to Europe this week may help bring more business to Indiana, says Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers, who's with the governor in Germany and Switzerland.
We had a trip to Slovakia earlier in the year, and out of that trip, just through a couple of the meetings we had, we've now announced a EV battery supplier that's choosing Indianapolis for an R&D facility, and then to a battery factory after that.
When companies do business here, Chambers says it means higher wages and lower taxes for you because the companies are paying enough to keep them low. Indy Metro Police are looking for 24-year-old Bernard Caluet. He was last seen near the intersection of Georgetown and Lafayette Roads Saturday. He's 5'11", 160 pounds with black hair and brown eyes, say police. IMPD say he may need medical treatment. If you know anything, give police a call. There was a fatal crash this morning in Indy after a car caught on fire. John Herrick reports.
Police say the driver of that sedan crashed it, and then it caught fire around 2:30, just a few blocks away from the intersection of East 62nd Street and Benford Boulevard. That's near a neighborhood, and the driver of the sedan was killed. Investigators are trying to figure out what made the driver crash. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Thousands of people in Florida are still without water or electricity, and they may not get it back until Sunday.
I want 100% of those that can receive water returned by Sunday, which happens to be the same day that electrical individuals say that they will have most of the restoration done to homes that can receive that.
Florida Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie, he says millions of water bottles and thousands of meals are already being given out to residents who need them. Indiana Task Force 1 still helping with search and rescue efforts in the state after Hurricane Ian. On Twitter, they said they were helping in Fort Myers and Fort Myers Beach today. The Florida Division of Emergency Management says more than 1,600 people have been rescued statewide. Gas prices haven't been moving much lately. Gas Buddy says you're paying an average of $4 a gallon today in Indiana. That's about where prices were most of last week. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but you hate the paint? Well, do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
No paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic at 3:35, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, east side, southbound 465 slows from 70 past Washington Street. And on the south side, eastbound 465 slowing up from I-70 over to Harding. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Favors B Window. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and cool throughout the evening hours tonight. Lows will fall to 42. Another beautiful day on Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies and pleasant with highs near 71. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to
Give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the Gun Guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Guy Relford, host of the Gun Guy Show, Second Amendment attorney and licensed firearms instructor, joining us live in studio. Guy, how are you?
I'm great, man, and thanks as always to our sponsor, Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon. Great place to buy firearms, ammunition, or accessories. 8401 East Highway 36. Check out my buddies at FortLibertyFirearms.com.
Tons of things I want to get to you.
Oh, yeah.
Get to today with you. Beto O'Rourke had a debate with Abbott over on Friday, and it's so funny how. Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. But Beto's backing off his hell no, hell yes. We're going to take your guns.
Yeah, he finally he's figured out he lives in Texas.
Yeah, right.
Well, it depends on which month it is.
Yeah,
too.
well, that's true. But he finally looked around and went, "Wow, this kind of looks like Texas. I'm trying to win an election in. Maybe I should monitor, or I should alter that stance just a little bit."
Where was this? But I want to play you this clip. What was this clip from? This was over the weekend, right? Or was this Biden on Friday?
So this is Biden over the weekend,
Right.
and he did a couple different speaking events, none of them which went well. But this is Joe Biden doing that weird, creepy, lean into the microphone whisper thing about wanting to ban assault weapons.
Together we passed and signed the first meaningful gun safety law in 30 years. Now we're not stopping there. I'm coming back. We are going to ban assault weapons again. I did it once, and I'm going to do it again.
Isn't it funny how they said, everybody was saying, yeah, this ain't the end of it when they passed that gun legislation earlier this year.
Oh.
Everybody was saying this is going to lead to even more Democrats. Yeah, this is definitely only the first step, right? So what do you think about, that old chestnut of the assault weapons ban talk again?
Well, yeah. I mean, there are a number of things to talk about here. First of all, when he said we're going to do it again, yeah, Biden, Dianne Feinstein, they were involved in passing the so-called assault weapon ban of 1994. That was in place from 94 to 04, but it had a sunset clause in it. And so the Congress had to decide whether they were going to renew it, because if they didn't specifically renew it, then it was going to fall of its own weight. So they commissioned a study by the National Institute of Justice. That's the research arm of the Department of Justice. They went out and did research, and they came back and they said so-called assault weapons, semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines, account for such a low percentage of overall murders in this country, less than 2%. Like we're around 1 to 1.5%, that were the assault weapon ban of 94 be renewed in 04, the results would be quote unquote too small to measure. And on that basis, they decided to let it just die.
Because I always hear about this 94 assault weapons ban, and they champion this thing like it stopped everything in this country.
Absolutely not.
So were you not allowed to buy AR-15s in that decade?
You could, new ones. There were regulations on transfer of guns unless they had modifications done to them to take them outside the definition of an assault weapon. So the answer to your question is yes, you could, but the manufacturers had to tweak them a little bit, and you had magazine capacity limits. In fact, we all had both pistol mags, rifle mags, even shotguns that had pre-ban and post-ban magazines. You could still have them, if they were manufactured pre-ban, but there were limitations on transfer. So it did nothing. The ban that has now passed the House, we talked about this a few weeks ago, it's sitting in the Senate, it's not going anywhere. I mean, imagine being a Joe Manchin, or imagine being a Kyrsten Sinema and looking at a tight race potentially as a Democrat, or in the House or Senate, and wanting to go back right here before midterms and talk about gun control.
Right.
You think that's what any of the Democrats right now who are in tight races in battleground states, you think that's what they want to talk about?
They probably
right
all
now?
face-palmed when Biden said that.
Oh, I guarantee you. They're going, oh, not this.
So let's kind of look in the crystal ball here. No matter what happens in the midterms, you're still going to have some of these folks, whether they're reelected or lame duck, in office until the early portion of January. Do you see some sort of pathway or timeline for the Democrats to try to do something like Joe Biden's talking about?
Not a chance in hell, because they need 60 votes in the Senate We've seen that they don't have the will to suspend the 60 vote requirement in the Senate. There's nowhere close to 60 votes in the Senate for this, so that's not going to happen. But I'll also tell you, they also have to know, anybody who's actually paid any attention to what the Supreme Court has done recently will tell you that there's zero chance that this Supreme Court would uphold an assault weapon ban if Congress passed it. That's not going to happen. They, under the new rules announced on how we determine Second Amendment cases, in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin case, there's zero chance this Supreme Court would uphold an assault weapon ban. And the people in Congress have to know that. So this is Biden pandering to his base, the ones that still pay any attention to him.
He can't pander to him about anything else.
Oh, I know.
Right?
And so, but this is going nowhere. And to be honest with you, I almost wish that it would. One little devious side of me almost wishes Congress would pass an assault weapon ban just so the Supreme Court can shut it down, declare it unconstitutional, and we can stop talking about it, because that's exactly what would happen.
And if you put it up for a vote too, you know who's on what side.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because that's a tough decision for Joe Manchin. That's a tough decision for Kyrsten Sinema. Like, they're going to have to publicly say yay or nay. You can't just miss that vote.
No, exactly. You can't just go, oh, what? We're going to vote on what this week?
I missed that vote. I'm sorry.
No, that's a really good point. And there's so many battleground states where those Democrats want nothing to do with this.
It's Monday Gun Day with Guy Relford here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So Beto O'Rourke running for governor in Texas against Abbott. They had a debate. It was Friday or Saturday, and it's just, the whole thing is just kind of a joke, by the way. There's no way Beto O'Rourke is going to beat Abbott.
The polling shows he's getting his ass handed to him.
Right. And then all of a sudden, they made him answer whether or not he really wants to take everybody's guns away, like he said in 2019 in the campaign. Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
During the Democrat presidential debates, exactly right.
It's just so funny how he's backing off that now. You go watch. I mean, he really was walking. He was doing the moonwalk away from that thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny to watch that kind of thing happen in Texas, especially? I mean,
it's
like you said earlier, he figured out he's running in Texas.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, keep in mind, who we're actually talking about is Robert Francis O'Rourke.
Right.
And I always get a kick out of that.
He appropriated a Hispanic nickname so he'd get more votes.
Exactly. Not realizing that it's just one vowel away from beta, which is exactly who this guy is. And he didn't quite figure that out. When he decided to select that particular nickname for political purposes, he hadn't quite thought that far ahead.
You know, what's funny with the Democrats right now, like, all of their quote unquote stars are just the oldest, most decrepit people imaginable. Listen, the Republicans don't have the House, they don't have the Senate, they don't have the White House right now. But you can look and see some promising stars of the future. You've got DeSantis coming up the ranks. You've got Kristi Noem. You've got, Tim Scott. There's fresh blood out there.
Oh, man, you got Candace Owens. You got, absolutely. There's so many people out there. I couldn't agree more, who are young, vibrant, smart, well-spoken. Absolutely. The bench is strong.
And the Democrats keep trying to give us Beto and Stacey Abrams, and all they do is lose election after election.
Yeah, no, he's exactly right. And it is exciting. And I think this is this midterm coming right up, man. November. This is going to mean a lot.
How about DeSantis getting out there in front of everybody and saying, hey, look, this is a Second Amendment state. So just know that if you want to try any looting type of business, right? I mean, he's warning those looters after the hurricane, we're a Second Amendment state.
Let me tell you, this stuff's real. I'm a motorcycle rider. You guys know that. I'm a Harley rider, have been for, my whole life. And I went to one meeting of this club, and they actually brought in a professional motorcycle thief who'd just been released from prison. That's what this guy did. He stole motorcycles. And they brought him in, and he was telling us basically what we could do to keep our motorcycle from being stolen. It was kind of a neat topic, and it was innovative. Right. I liked it. And somebody said, well, what about in my garage? He goes, he said, how should I chain my bike up in my garage? How should I secure my bike in my garage? And the guy looks right at the dude and goes, You dummy, man. This is Indiana. We don't go in people's garages. You get shot.
Oh, wow, really?
That's exactly what he said. He goes, we don't go in people's garages. This is Indiana. You get shot.
That's
and Ron DeSantis saying, we're a Second Amendment state. We're a pro-2A state. You don't want to be pulling this stuff. The stuff we saw in New Orleans after Katrina,
right?
Looting. It's not something you want to see here in Florida. Not something you want to engage in because we'll shoot your ass. I'm good with that.
I think most people who support law and order are, but then you've got people like Joy Reid who go on MSNBC and claim that somehow that's a racist statement.
Some sort of dog whistle or something.
It's only racist if Joy Reid thinks that only minorities are engaged in looting.
I could tell Joy Reid what time it is right now and she would call me a racist. Everything is racist to Joy Reid.
But really, she's literally saying to you, well, only people of certain demographic origins engage in looting, so it must be racist. Her statement is more racist than anything Ron DeSantis ever said.
I want to get your thoughts on these idiots in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
This was a story that happened last week. So a bunch of teenagers got together in an apartment complex in San Antonio, and they were filming a rap video. But they decided to use real guns. So they're waving their guns. It's mainly handguns, but there was one AR.
Yeah.
And the people in the apartment complex are like, what in the hell's going on here? Because this was a crowd of about 11 or 13 of them. So the authorities arrive, and then a lot of people run. But 6 of them, I think, were charged with some sort of violation because they were waving these guns out in an apartment complex.
Well, you got a number of issues. Are they legally permitted to have a gun? Right? I mean, based on age, based on their criminal histories. And then what are you doing with that gun? You're waving it around. You're pointing it at people who are, walking past. You're pointing it at each other. I've seen that where people are
smart.
They're trying to be cute and entertaining on a TikTok or whatever with a gun. And what are they doing? They're waving it out, pointing at themselves.
Dude, you see that on social media a lot.
All the time.
How many times have we had a story about some scumbag that shot somebody, and on their social media, there's a picture of them with a weapon being an idiot?
Exactly right. So these people waving guns around at each other, at passersby, at people in the apartment complex. Those are serious crimes. We're talking about criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. In Indiana, we have pointing a firearm. In Texas and other places, they have crimes called brandishing, which we don't exactly have in Indiana, but we have a very close corollary. So, no, this is just an incredibly knuckleheaded thing. People said, we're going to look really cool when we record this rap video with all these guns, and didn't quite take the next step and think, might we be breaking some laws in the process?
And that's so frustrating to law-abiding gun owners, people that do things the right way, right? If you ask a police officer, what they hate more than anything is a dirty cop. They hate a dirty cop almost more than a criminal. Law-abiding gun owners, we take so much crap from people all the time that it's frustrating when you see somebody with a weapon doing it wrong. You hate those people more than you hate, the people telling you shouldn't have it to begin with.
That's such an important point, Jason, and it's something I take some heat on. Like on my show on Saturdays, I am death on knucklehead gun owners, man. People do knuckleheaded things with guns. I come down on them. I come down on them hard. I will refer them to the page in my book, Gun Safety for Dummies, that they really ought to read because they did something knuckleheaded with a gun. And occasionally somebody will call and go, man, I thought you were supposed to support gun owners, and why are you so critical? And I'll tell you exactly one reason, and that is because every time somebody does something knuckleheaded with a gun, what does that do? It gives those people that would take our Second Amendment rights away from us, it gives them ammunition, no pun intended, to say, aha, those people can't be trusted with guns. We need another law. We need something else to put these people in their place and take their guns away from them. So every time somebody does something knuckleheaded with a gun, I'm going to be harsher. I'm going to be harder on those people than anybody else because you're jeopardizing my rights when you're an idiot with a gun.
If anybody wants to continue this conversation or if they have questions, where can they go?
Relford Law is the best place, relfordlaw.com.
Guy, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Former President Trump just wrote on Truth Social that Dick Morris's new bestseller, The Return, is a great book and urges you to get it. The Return reveals that big media and the deep state have formed an alliance to stop Trump. An Amazon bestseller. Get Dick Morris's The Return or see the free offer from Newsmax and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go to thereturn911.com. Get it today.
When physical therapy didn't work, When rest and medication didn't do the job. When your doctor says now's the time. Rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spinecare to learn more.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 5.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 5.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.75% fixed. 6.991% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
You forget something?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be able to pick up Braden tonight after practice.
Oh, did something come up at work?
Nah, not even going to make it in today.
Why? What's going on?
Well, I'm coming up on some construction in about a quarter mile. I've already started ignoring the signs. In a minute, I'll force my way through traffic while texting. I'll pull the wheel a little too far and drive right through the barrels where I'm going to hit a few workers. One of them is going to get killed, so then I'm going to be arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter.
No one plans on having an accident, but you can plan to avoid one. Every year, dangerous, irresponsible driving in construction zones ruins lives. Crashes kill and injure road workers. Drivers end up paying thousands of dollars and even spend time in jail. When you're driving in a construction zone, read the signs. Slow down. Save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Imagine being able to pay off all your credit cards and maybe even missing a few months of mortgage payments. Learn more about a simple cash-out refinance today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
B has more than white windows. B offers total design choices.
B lets you virtually design colors to match the character of your home.
Trust me.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Eastbound 465 now stop and go Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. A vehicle stalled on the east side. It's the ramp from northbound 465 to 56th Street. Shadeland ramp is open, partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Favors B Window. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This movie called Smile was #1 at the box office. It looks creepy AF, by the way. It's a horror thriller, opened with $22 million this week. The rest of the top 5 I've never heard of. Don't Worry, Darling. Some new romantic comedy called Bros, which is a gay rom-com.
Right.
I saw the trailer. It doesn't look that funny. I wouldn't go see a straight rom-com. I'm just not interested in those kinds of movies.
That's not your genre. You're not a romantic comedy guy.
No, not at all. I'm science fiction in Top Gun type of things, but the producer, one of the producers or the director, somebody, Billy Eichner, is blaming straight people for the brutal box office opening of Bros.
So they thought this was going to be some sort of blockbuster, right?
Yes, but because it was dismal, the trailer doesn't look funny at all. Nobody went to see it. He said, if you are not some sort of sick homophobe, you should have gone to see my movie.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a gay-themed rom-com, and you didn't go see it, you're a bigot.
Okay.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Or your movie sucks.
That could be it, too.
Top stories next.
I'm your toilet, and we need to talk. It's been 10 years since the Roto-Rooter man tuned me up, yet I just sit here and take your... Remember your cookout, those Cajun deviled eggs you picked up from the gas station? I was the most popular seat in the house. Not anymore. We're finished.
Sometimes things just quit. So make sure to call the company that doesn't. Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Water Cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Are you looking for a local John Deere dealer in the Indianapolis area to serve your commercial and compact construction equipment needs? The folks at Koenig Equipment say, turn to us. Their full line of John Deere skid steers, track loaders, front loaders, and mini excavators, combined with their team of product experts and certified service techs, make Koenig your premier John Deere dealer.
Stop by one of their 6 convenient Indiana locations or visit KoenigEquipment.com today. That's KoenigEquipment.com.
Tony Katz for Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, the family-owned business in its second generation of taking care of the roofs of Indianapolis and all over central Indiana. They do full roof replacements, residential or commercial. You've got storm damage, you talk to Moss Roofing. And their financing, they've got a plan that works for everybody's budget. So yes, now is the time to get that roof taken care of. And if you need siding, they work with James Hardy Siding. We're talking about the low maintenance, fully painted, 15-year warranty on the finish, James Hardy Siding. When you go to sell your home, your house is going to be worth more money because you will have increased the value with James Hardy Siding, and it holds up better in the Indianapolis weather. Talk to the family at Moss Roofing today. 317-784-3227. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 784-3227. 784-3227 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
If you want to win at any game or competition, whether it's in sports, your career, your finances, you have to have a solid game plan. Retirement works the exact same way. If you want a winning retirement strategy, you need a great coach, a manager, an expert.
And that's where Brian Singer and the Singer Financial Group come in. The Singer Financial Group puts together the pieces of a comprehensive retirement plan to make sure that your retirement years are the best years of your life. Every day you wake up winning. Singer Financial can help you make the next chapter of your life whatever you want it to be. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com or call 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit. 317-852-9153. Find out how the Singer Financial Group can help you pursue the sweet life in retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Former President Trump just wrote on Truth Social that Dick Morris's new bestseller, The Return, is a great book and urges you to get it. The Return reveals that big media and the deep state have formed an alliance to stop Trump. An Amazon bestseller. Get Dick Morris's The Return or see the free offer from Newsmax and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go to thereturn911.com. Get it today.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Governor Holcomb is in Europe this week, and he says it'll help Indiana. And John Herrick reports on a fatal crash in the northeast side this morning. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The best day in months on Wall Street. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Dow up more than 700 points at the closing bell after sinking into bear market territory last week, down more than 20% from its most recent high. Today it gains more than 2%. The S&P and the NASDAQ do as well. Weaker than expected reports on manufacturing and construction spending getting part of the credit, offering hope the Fed might not have to be quite so aggressive with rate hikes to help bring down inflation. This is off the session highs, though. At one point, the Dow was up about 900. It finishes up more than 700. President Biden is visiting Puerto Rico, which hadn't fully recovered from 2017's Hurricane Maria when Fiona hit last month.
I'm confident we're going to be able to do all you want, Governor, and I'm committed to this island.
Alongside Puerto Rico's governor, who requested a major disaster declaration, the president says the cost of clearing debris, search and rescue, and sheltering people will be fully covered. On Wednesday, he visits Florida, still rescuing people from Hurricane Ian.
Search and rescue teams have been out countless hours, straight through the night, nonstop, with over 800 rescues. That's huge.
Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino says his county alone has had more than 50 deaths, more than 80 blamed on the storm statewide. Ringo Starr tests positive for COVID, putting his all-star band's North American tour on hold.
The legendary Beatles drummer postponing weekend concerts before the diagnosis was confirmed. The rep vowing to keep fans updated with any further news or changes. The all-star band includes members from Men at Work, Toto, the Average White Band, and musician Edgar Winter. In a statement, the band says Ringo hopes to resume as soon as possible and is recovering at home.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, they say they hope to see the fans back on the road soon. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why going to Europe means jobs for you. Sunny and 69 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Clear skies and lows in the upper 30s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. The governor is out of the state this week in Europe on a business trip with Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers. Chris Davis explains why they say they take these trips.
In a nutshell, it's about building relationships and convincing foreign companies Indiana is the place to do business.
To not only say thank you to those existing businesses, but also to cultivate new relationships.
Chambers says one example is the EV battery company now doing business in Indianapolis thanks to a trip to Slovakia this year. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man from Indianapolis was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison after police found him with over half a pound of meth, 4 ounces of cocaine, and more than 12,000 pills that were filled with meth. Arthur Miles was the man sentenced. He was arrested twice, once in May of last year when the cops found him with the drugs, and again while on pretrial release. One person was killed in a crash this morning in the northeast side of Indianapolis. John Herrick reports.
It happened a few blocks east of the intersection of East 62nd Street and Benford Boulevard, says IMPD. They say a red Chrysler sedan crashed and caught fire. The driver of the sedan was killed. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused the crash. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Another person was hit and killed by a car Sunday in Boone County on State Road 47 near Sheridan. Deputies say the driver, Roger Weishart Jr. of Rushville, had run out of gas and was walking toward Sheridan when he was hit. He died before deputies got there. The person who was driving the car that hit him was taken to the hospital, deputies say, for substances that may have caused impairment. No charges were announced. Hoosiers are still doing what they can in Florida. Indiana Task Force 1 said they're helping with search and rescue efforts in Fort Myers today on Twitter. The Florida Division of Emergency Management says more than 1,600 people have been rescued from across the state. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength. What inspires us at Franciscan Health is you. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
East side stall on the ramp from northbound 465 to East 56th Street, Shadeland Avenue. Ramp is open. It's tight, though. Also on the east side, southbound 465 slowing up from 70 down to south Shadeland Avenue and inbound 65. Heavy around west into the north split. Traffic sponsored by Audible. The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcast, and more, all in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and cool throughout the evening hours tonight. Low temperatures will fall to about 42. We're going to see another beautiful day on Tuesday. Look for mostly sunny skies and pleasant temperatures, with highs near 71. Mostly clear Tuesday night, not as chilly with lows falling to 47, and the great weather continues into Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies, pleasant with highs near 74. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
70 degrees and sunny in downtown Indy. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Oh, baby, do we have a lot of stuff coming up for you. But before we get there, I don't want to waste your time. I want to give you what you want. We give the people what they want. Nigel, are you ready?
I'm ready!
Mondo, are you ready? Let's check in with wheelin' dealin', hair sniffing, kiss stealing Joe Biden.
Woo! I got hairy legs. Get ready, pal. You're going in for a problem.
Visit vaccines.gov. Vaccines.com.
Vaccines.gum. Brought to you by Bubblicious. So over the weekend, Joe Biden was speaking at an event, and again, Grandpa said the quiet part out loud.
Really?
So he's talking about his big Inflation Reduction Act, and he basically just blurts out it was really designed for green initiatives.
Of course.
Inflation Reduction Act takes the most aggressive action to confront our climate crisis ever, in all of human history, ever.
And there's like an awkward pause in the crowd. And again, it's a friendly crowd, and everybody's looking at him like, dude, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say, oh, it's going to reduce the national debt.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've been referring to it now as the new climate bill instead of the Inflation Reduction Act because it didn't reduce inflation.
No.
So everybody's been referring to it as the Green New Deal or the climate change bill or whatever you want to call it. Meanwhile, inflation's up. Gas prices are back up across the country. Where's old Joe Biden now that gas prices are on the rise again, huh? Boy, he was all over that a few weeks ago when they were down. Now, nary a word from our president.
When the prices go up, well, the president has no control over the gas prices. When they go down, you're welcome, America. Okay. Here is Joe Biden getting his boxers in a bunch over the perception that the Democrats spend too much money.
I'm so sick of Republicans saying we're the big spenders. Give me a break. Give me a break. And by the way, this bill is going to reduce the deficit by another $300 billion over 10 years.
Well, first of all, it's not going to work. And second of all, if you want to get rid of the perception that you're spending so much money, there's an easy fix. Stop spending so much damn money!
They might have a point with the Republican angle of this, too. A lot of Republicans voted for that $1 trillion stimulus.
Right.
Of course.
What does Rob call Todd Young, the Duke of Spendingburg?
The spender of Dukeburg, I believe that actually.
I don't believe.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's it.
It's not spender of Dukeburg.
My favorite part, though, of Joe Biden's speech this weekend, it wasn't the fact that he said the quiet part out loud. It wasn't the fact that he admits, yeah, they're spending a lot of money. It's when he walked up to the podium and they're playing the official presidential song, Hail to the Chief. It almost sounded like he was startled and he was mad because it was playing.
Whoa!
Oh, hey!
gonna turn my hearing aids down. That was loud.
And it wasn't like he had a smile on his face and he's like, hey, no, he was legitimately scared and ticked off. Could you play it one more time, Kyle?
Whoa!
Turn that bleep down. That's your guy. Meanwhile, the vice president, Kamala Harris, she says that rebuilding the infrastructure in Florida after that disastrous hurricane that made its way through should be decided by your skin color.
It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so
women.
Absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities.
Does that make anybody feel better if you're down in Florida right now, hearing the vice president talking about, well, look, the communities of color, you're going to get first shot at all the relief? I mean, who is relieved by that? Who is like Sanibel Island? I don't know what the demographic makeup of that island is, but those people that live on that island were completely decimated and destroyed. No running water. The bridge to get off the land was taken out, and so they, hey, look, they had it coming. All those rich people on Sanibel Island, look, you're going to have to get in line. All right? There's more people with more important priorities than you.
Rich people, white people, back in the line. Everybody else, come on up and grab a generator. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Meanwhile, in Florida, Ron DeSantis, he was doing an interview, and a CNN reporter, I think, was trying to get in a zinger on Governor DeSantis, talking to him about why they waited so long for Lee County to have an evacuation notice. It did not go well for CNN reporter.
Do you stand behind Lee County's decision to not have that mandatory evacuation until the day before the storm?
Well, where was your industry station when the storm hit? Were you guys in Lee County? No, you were in Tampa. So that's, they were following the weather track, and they had to make decisions based on that. But, 72 hours, they weren't even in the cone. 48 hours, they were on the periphery. So you got to make the decisions the best you can. I will say, they delivered the message to people. They had shelters open. Everybody had adequate opportunity to at least get to a shelter within the county. But, a lot of the residents did not want to do that. I think probably for various reasons. Some people just don't want to leave their home, period. They're island people, whatever. But I think part of it was so much attention was paid to Tampa that I think a lot of them probably thought that they wouldn't get the worst of it. So, but they did. And I think it's easy to second guess them, but they were ready for the whole time and made that call when it was justifiable to do so.
Basically, I'll give you the translation of that CNN reporter. Mr. DeSantis, why weren't you able to predict the track of the hurricane?
Right.
First of all, everybody had plenty of time to get out of there. Okay, it's not like it's turned on a dime. Everybody that was in the wake of that hurricane they saw that it was, oh boy, it's not going the way we thought it was. We better get the hell out of Dodge.
Right.
All right, it's not DeSantis' fault that he can't predict the track of the hurricane.
It was predicted to go to Tampa, but then last minute it went a little south. And they still had 24 hours to evacuate. The toll roads were opened up, so nobody had to pay anything. There were shelters set up all through the inland. This was a CNN reporter out to try to do a hit piece on DeSantis. But here's the thing I love about Ron DeSantis. He comes at you with facts. He doesn't just go after you like a name-calling competition or something like that. He'll come at you with facts, and he'll try to humiliate you for being a smartass. I can get with that. I'm fine with that. So Ron DeSantis also had a message for looters.
The other thing that we're concerned about, particularly in those areas that were really hard hit, is, we want to make sure we're maintaining law and order. Don't even think about looting. Don't even think about taking advantage of people in this vulnerable situation. And so local law enforcement is involved in monitoring that. I told Kevin if the state needs to help as well, because you can have people, bringing boats into some of these islands and trying to ransack people's homes. I can tell you in the state of Florida, you never know what may be lurking behind somebody's home. And I would not want to chance that if I were you, given that we're a Second Amendment state.
And guess how much looting we've seen down in those affected areas from the hurricane? I haven't seen anything. Have you?
There's been a little bit.
I haven't seen anything.
That's why he was asked about it. And
I haven't seen any footage of that. And I think people know for the most part that, you're going to be in some trouble. There's a real risk of you being shot to death if you're ransacking somebody's home or private property. Right or wrong. Too bad.
Now imagine being Joy Reid of MSNBC and taking the side of the looters in this case. She was pro-looters. She retweeted...
Pro-looting?
Pro-looter. She retweeted that sound clip of Ron DeSantis and said, quote, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." Segregationist Miami sheriff in 1967. Didn't take long for DeSantis to return to form. So what do you want the governor to do here? Tell the looters, hey, take what you want. Be our guest. It's like Christmas early. Go through these stores, steal what you want. We have to make Joy Reid happy. Imagine being pro-looter in this situation here.
And of course, the implication is minority communities are the ones that are doing the looting. That's exactly what she's implying there, which is racist. That's just, you shake your head at these people and they keep on stepping in it time and time again. No, it doesn't matter what color you are. If you're robbing my house, you have the chance to get shot, especially in a place where there's not a lot of law enforcement, not a lot of, the rescue effort isn't in full swing in some places. There's definitely a chance that you could be injured, possibly dead, if you are looting.
It's crazy how many people want Ron DeSantis to fail here. They want the governor of Florida to screw this up and have people's lives ruined just so they can point their finger and go, gotcha, see? But then you have viral videos like the one we're about to play for you where you've got a couple guys that mention on camera they're Democrats, they're black guys, but they see the gas station tankers going up to the gas stations and they thank Ron DeSantis.
That about DeSantis, but that gas is here in Arcadia. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but it's here in Arcadia, so y'all know who we vote for. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers. I'm voting for DeSantis, and I'm a Democrat, so y'all can call it what the
We got children out here.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
That was the reporter trying to scold the guy. By the way, we got children out here. Yeah.
If he were ripping DeSantis, that reporter wouldn't have said a word.
Yeah, of course.
Not a word.
I love it, though. That guy's gone viral. He was all over social media. And, yeah, it's nighttime. You see the big gas tanker outside the gas station. He's like, yeah, we're in Arcadia. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but they've got gas. I'm voting for DeSantis. And I'm a Democrat.
Matt Baer, what's the latest?
East side, southbound 465, slow before 70 down to Arlington Avenue. And on the south side, eastbound 465, pockets of slow, Kentucky over to Man. And again, before 31 over to Emerson, inbound 65, stop and go from west. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and the Indiana Fever Aid Food Insecurity at Brookside School 54 at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
An event no one believed would be allowed to happen again. A very special evening with Tony Katz.
I avoid the use of the words dumb and stupid.
Kendall and Casey.
They're just strapping you in. Go for it.
Hammer and Nigel.
It's loud, it's chaotic.
And special guests. It's the 2022 edition of A Night with WIBC. It'll be informative, it'll be funny, and it won't be PC. Thursday, October 27th at the Schrott Center on the beautiful campus of Butler University. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers, Indiana. So that horrible, no good, rotten Colts game was yesterday, but it's a quick turnaround. Colts are in action this Thursday night. They've got the Thursday game out in Denver, and right now, Denver is a 3.5-point favorite over the Colts. The over-under is 43.5. Now is the time to get that Bet Rivers account ready to go, because the month of October, it brings you everything. You've got playoff baseball, the World Series, the start of the NBA, the NFL, college football. This is a great time to load up that Bet Rivers account. And remember, always check the daily specials, the promotions, because nobody gives you, the player, the opportunity to win more money than Bet Rivers does. They take care of their returning players, and that's why I always go back. Bet Rivers, Indiana. Download the apps right now. Must be a resident of Indiana, 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Former President Trump just wrote on Truth Social that Dick Morris's new bestseller, The Return, is a great book and urges you to get it. The Return reveals that big media and the deep state have formed an alliance to stop Trump. An Amazon bestseller. Get Dick Morris's The Return or see the free offer from Newsmax and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go to thereturn911.com. Get it today.
Of course, one of the things I love about betting on the NFL is that I'm always finding those new player or game props that I like. And obviously the cool thing about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's perfect for tonight's Monday Night Football game, Rams and the Niners. Matt Stafford over passing yards. Maybe combine that with Cooper Kupp to score an anytime touchdown and add on George Kittle over receiving yards. It's so easy to use, this app is, man. If you don't have it, download it using promo code WIBC. And then when you do win, it's ultra lightning fast withdrawals. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up today, promo code WIBC, so your no sweat first bet up to $1,000 kicks in. That's promo code WIBC. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbooks.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
At Busey Wealth Management, we're proud to partner with individuals, families, and foundations, ensuring possibilities become achievements. From preserving and enhancing your assets to securing your legacy for future generations, we're focused on your success. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth. Since 1868, member FDIC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I'll run some stories by you. You break them down. You tell us if these stories are really anything or not. Okay. There are two sayings. There's one that says the show must go on, and then there's another one that says, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Well, these two phrases kind of had a crossroads meeting the other night at a concert in Atlanta with Lil Nas X. He had to poop real bad. He was on stage.
Oh, no.
So he had to make an announcement from a microphone backstage about what exactly he was doing.
I'm backstage, and this is like not a part of the show, but I'm taking a mean so please, I want to be like a minute or two, and I'll be right back.
Wait a minute, are you telling me in the middle of a performance, he's got to exit stage right and go take a dump in the middle of the show, and he's got a microphone with him, and he updates the audience as he's doing his business?
Yes, sir.
That is something. That's actually impressive.
Not since Frank Drebin had the microphone on when he went to take a pee in the Naked Gun has there been such a great behind-the-scenes bathroom moment here.
Now I'm looking at a tweet, a follow-up tweet from Lil Nas X. So, like, if you think this was part of the act or he was just joking around, he tweeted, quote, LMAO, people really thought I was joking. I was literally back there dropping demons into that toilet. I just became a Lil Nas X fan.
That's the guy that does Old Town Road. Took my horse to the Old Town
my
Road.
Kids love that song.
Mondo?
Did you guys see Seattle Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf yesterday?
Oh, he had a number 2 moment.
Well, he said that he didn't want the whole nation to see him do the poop waddle, so he had the cart take him off the field so he could go to the bathroom.
He didn't want to make that Lamar Jackson poop waddle, that Bobby Hurley poop waddle.
I remember. I was just thinking about Bobby Hurley from Duke. Now, it's my ultimate nightmare. Night with WIBC coming up in a couple of weeks. Tickets on sale now, right?
Yes.
Right? Ticketmaster, WIBC.com. I'm not eating that entire day. I'm gonna take like 5 Imodium ADs. Just that. I'm not gonna drink anything because I don't want to have to pee during the performance, during our set. That would be a nightmare to me. That would be, I mean, I guess we could probably turn it into something.
Right. It would work for our show. It's kind of on brand.
I just thought about that. Maybe
people wouldn't know, oh, Nigel pooped on stage. Was that a bit? Is this anything? I don't know.
That's my nightmare, though, for sure.
If I'm DJing your event, because I own a DJ company, if I'm ever your DJ and you hear the 7-minute mix of We Are Family, I went to take a dump. Because that's my go-to if I have to go to the bathroom. It's like a 7-minute extended mix.
Doesn't your equipment, so if you would play that and say you weren't done yet, because that 7 minutes sometimes is not nearly enough time for me. Does your equipment, could it segue into another song on its own?
It could, but I don't like doing that. I like to make it tight. I like to make it sound good. And sometimes I'll have one of my kids with me and they can mix into something else. But if that song comes on, chances are I'm nowhere to be found at the table. Is this anything? This TikToker's mom has a very unique laugh. Okay. Some people compared it to a kazoo, while others said it sounds like she swallowed a Furby.
Hey, Mom, the people want you to laugh again, so I got to make it happen.
Oh, no.
Wasn't nothing wrong with last time. Look, here's what I just want to hear you get a little bit of a laugh out because the people want to hear your joy, that your laugh sounds so delicate. No, there it was. Hold on. What was that? Delicate laugh one more time? No. Hold on.
What? That's a laugh?
Why are you stopping that?
That's something for sure. I don't know what Furby is.
Furby was that little...
It looked like an owl, right?
Right, little owl, and it had fur on it. It was a little toy.
This is one of my favorite montages. Here are 8 people. They got 8 people with unique laughs all in the same room, and they recorded them all cracking up at the same time.
I heard a snort. Skolnick in there?
I was going to say Louis Skolnick from Revenge of the Nerds.
Now, that was just regular people. That wasn't like any celebrities or whatever.
No, there were 8 people in a room with unique laughs, and they recorded it. That's hilarious.
So I will see those 8 people, and I will raise them the laugh track from hell that features Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Sammy Terry, and Vincent Price.
I'm terrified.
Kill it with fire. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration.
Why is acupuncture the most effective, fastest treatment for hot flashes?
What acupuncture does that they've proven is it increases the endorphins of the body. And you can do pre-post blood tests and show that the endorphin levels change. Your cortisol reduces, oxytocin goes right up. Very dramatic change. And the women sit there and say, I didn't have a hot flash tonight, and I slept great. And it's immediate. It's the same reason why acupuncture is the most effective means of fixing infertility, because it changes the endorphin levels, even more effective than IVF. The same reason that acupuncture is so amazing for menopause is also why it fixes almost every endocrine problem. PMS, almost every symptom that you can have with your hormones can be immediately got under control with acupuncture.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Yeah, I'd only trust Mark Dietel to sell my house in this market. Bruce and Carol heard about Mark Dietel on our show. They're in Indy, and it was finally time for them to downsize, and it was important for them to grab as much equity as possible. And they were nervous. They heard the market was slowing up a little bit, but Mark assured them they could get the price they needed, and he delivered, got multiple offers in a few weeks, sold for over $20,000 over asking.
Mark Dietel is the man. Mark Dietel is the only real estate agent that we trust here on the Hammer and Nigel Show to do things right and to give you the best deal. Mark Dietel's the only real estate agent that I know that guarantees multiple offers in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. Call Mark Dietel right now, 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's a business trip. 70 degrees and sunny on Monument Circle. All clear on the radar, too. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. Lower taxes and higher wages are what Indiana's Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers says result from the trips that the governor has taken overseas to promote doing business in and with Indiana. Chris Davis reports on this week's trip.
Governor Eric Holcomb and Chambers are in Germany and Switzerland this week on the 12th such trip.
The old Woody Allen saying 90% of life is just showing up, and that's certainly true when you're out in building our economy on the international stage.
Chambers says Indiana's economy relies heavily on the companies from around the world doing business here. He says the trips sometimes produce new relationships, like with Exurban e-waste recycling in Fort Wayne. That came out of a trip to the UK. The trips are paid for privately. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
More than 80 people have died from Hurricane Ian, with most of those being in Florida, and there could be more. Search and rescue efforts are still going on in areas that were hit hardest by the storm. Indiana Task Force 1 is in Fort Myers helping today. Iran's supreme leader accused the United States for provoking the country's anti-government protests. The White House is denying those accusations.
We're alarmed and appalled by reports of security authorities responding to university students' peaceful protest with violence and mass arrest.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Air Force One. Protests got worse after a woman died in police custody when she refused to wear her headscarf, violating religious law. Screening for anxiety could be something added to your next doctor visit.
Most of us worry, especially those of us who are high achieving or oriented to wanting to do well, whether that's for ourselves or for others, especially people who want to do well for others.
IU clinical psychologist Dr. Anne Mary Montero tells Wish TV when that worry stays with you, you may need professional support. A federal task force is recommending the screening at doctor visits. A good day for stocks. The Dow up 765, closing at 29,490. The Nasdaq also up 239 to 10,815, and the S&P 500 up 92 points, closing at 3,678. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices. and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
With traffic on the 5s at 435, here's Matt Baer.
East side stall on the ramp from northbound 465 to East 56th Street ramp is open, partially blocked. East side southbound 465 stop and go traffic 70 down to 74, and on the south side stop and go eastbound 465 from Man Road over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy efficient B Window siding and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Faber's B Window. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and cool throughout the evening hours tonight. Lows will fall to 42. Another beautiful day on Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies and pleasant with highs near 71. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
So Donald Trump did a series of interviews with the New York Times writer. And I don't know why he continues to do this, Hammer. I think we talked about this last week, maybe the week before, where he does these interviews with these publications that are obviously slanted and agenda-driven and incredibly biased. Bob Woodward's book, Woodward and Bernstein fame, Rage, interviewed just Stephanopoulos, Axios on HBO, Leslie Stahl, 60 Minutes. He continues to do these interviews with publications of these agenda-driven, far left-wing progressive sites that aren't fair at all. And here's another example.
So Maggie Haberman is a writer for the New York Times. Yeah. She's not a Trump fan, but for whatever reason, Donald Trump gave her multiple interviews for this book that she's got out about Donald Trump right now. Spoiler, it's not a complimentary book about Donald Trump, but there are some insights in this thing if you believe anything Maggie Haberman has to say. So let's get into this a little bit. She was on The View earlier today, and we know you didn't watch that. So we watched it so you don't have to. This is Maggie Haberman talking about President Trump and what he thinks about Ron DeSantis.
Privately, he has been attacking Ron DeSantis in the manner you just described. His weight, how he sounds, that he's a phony. That's a big one of Donald Trump's about a number of people. He is really focused on Ron DeSantis in a way that he isn't on almost anybody else, because he knows not just that Ron DeSantis is seen by people like us or others, who look at the political field as the person who can take on Trumpism without the erratic behavior, but donors really like Ron DeSantis. And he has raised a lot of money at a time when Donald Trump's fundraising has slowed down, and that is very concerning.
I think to that point, like when Jared Kushner went on Fox and I think it was Fox and Friends, and talked about DeSantis and how he didn't like it that he was using migrants as political pawns, sending them up to Martha's Vineyard. I believe that was a conduit from to Trump. I believe that was a shot across the DeSantis bow from the Trump camp,
right?
From Kushner.
So a lot of people wanted these guys to be friends, right? But man, it just doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
They'd kill though, man. They'd kill it if like who are we talking to? I think we were talking to Bill O'Reilly last week, and we asked him if who's it going to be for the Republicans. And he's like, well, if DeSantis moves out of Florida and Donald Trump is able to pick him as his running mate, because you can't be from the same state and be on the same ticket. they'd wipe the floor with everybody. I just don't see that happen.
Nobody wants to be the Robin to the Batman in that situation, right?
Well,
Ron DeSantis is not going to be a number 2 for anybody, and Donald Trump is not going to be a number 2 for anybody. It's 2 alpha males. There's no room for a Robin. Now, the question on who is willing to run with Donald Trump was asked of Maggie Haberman on The View today.
People whose names have been mentioned, the one that actually gets mentioned the most by people close to him is Tim Scott from South Carolina, the senator, and then Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is possibly the next governor of Arkansas. I didn't mean to cause that.
It just came up out of my system. It's like crazy.
And all the little chicken heads on The View are rolling their eyes and cackling at the idea of Sarah Huckabee Sanders on the ticket with Donald Trump. She's going to win that governor's race in Arkansas. It's not going to be close. She's going to boat race that thing. But is she somebody that would move the needle for Donald Trump? I'm not sure if she is or not.
Tim Scott would be the senator. Tim Scott, I think, would move the needle. I don't know. I mean, I think she was really good at her job.
She was. And she had a rowdy room.
Yes. Yeah. She was dealing with Acosta and all those grandstanding boobs.
That loser from Playboy, Brian Karam, yelling and just shouting and grandstanding and being a boob the entire time. Like, Karine Jean-Pierre never has to deal with that crap. Jen Psaki never had to deal with that crap.
I mean, unless you're Peter Doocy, but that was just one person.
Right, but he would never stand up and try to do his own show.
That's okay, exactly right.
And lastly, this was not on The View today, but this is something that's in her book, Maggie Haberman's book on Donald Trump. Tell me if you believe this story or not. She claims that when Donald Trump was coming out of Walter Reed Hospital, remember when he got COVID?
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad there for a couple days. And when he was coming out of the hospital, he ordered his staff to have a big Superman shirt, and he wanted to come out of the hospital, like on the wheelchair, stand up, rip open his dress shirt, and have a Superman S on his chest.
Okay, do we believe that or not?
I'm going to read you the excerpt here, okay? Right. Quote, he would be wheeled out of Walter Reed in a chair, and once outdoors, he would dramatically stand up, then open his button-down dress shirt to reveal the Superman logo beneath it. He was so serious about this that he called the campaign headquarters to instruct an aide, Max Miller, to get the Superman shirts. Matt Miller was then sent to a Virginia big box store.
I don't know if I believe a word of anything that comes from the New York Times or Maggie Haberman. There's just they've destroyed all their credibility in their coverage of Trump over the past few years, and Republicans in general, and especially colluding with big tech, squashing the Hunter Biden laptop from hell story. It's just all that stuff. But I gotta tell you, that to me is not completely out of the realm of possibility for Donald Trump.
And the thing is, I kind of wish he would have did it.
Yeah.
I would have been here for it. That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Get me a Superman jersey.
I'm going to stand up from the chair, rip the shirt open.
Kind of like, does Cam Newton still do that? Like he used to do that. Well, he used to fake do it like he was
right
in the NFL, but this would have been real.
Right. He would have actually ripped open the shirt with the S on his chest and walked out of Walter Reed.
Glad to see the president taking the COVID so seriously.
I want that to be true so bad, though.
I know.
Oh, man. We mentioned this earlier. This past weekend, there was the big gubernatorial debate in Texas. Governor Greg Abbott against Robert Francis O'Rourke.
Yeah.
Beto says he, of course, doesn't support defunding the police.
Do you support measures to defund police? You have 60 seconds.
Of course I don't, and no one does.
Nobody does.
Sure.
How dare you say such a phrase? Nobody does. Except for you back in 2020.
I really love that Black Lives Matters and other protesters have put this front and center to defund, and then also in some necessary cases, completely dismantling those police forces and rebuilding them. And I think the city council in Minneapolis made the right decision. You don't have one bad apple. You don't have 4 bad apples. You have a system-wide problem in that police department. And only by completely dismantling that system and rebuilding it intentionally,
completely
with
dismantling
the community members at the table, do you have any hope of getting it right?
But the fact that I think he was talking about one specific police department there, but the fact that there were so many Democrats, especially the squad, for him to say in that debate over the weekend that nobody supports defunding the police, Hammer, is ridiculous.
Right. Now, I'm glad you bring up the squad because we've put together a little montage here of some of your favorite squad members discussing defunding the police.
I am for defunding the police. Yes, I support the defund movement.
Why use the word defund? Why use the word defund? And it's like, this is the word that's coming from the street. Many affluent suburbs have essentially already begun pursuing a defunding of the police in that they fund schools. Not only do we need to invest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. The Minneapolis Police Department is rotten to the roots.
Defund the police does not mean abolish the police. It means a dramatic reduction in the number of police in our poor communities. Police are terrorizing black and brown communities. The evidence is clear across the country.
Wow.
And Beto was out there on the front lines calling for a defunding of the police. Ted Nugent, your thoughts?
Hey, Beto, eat me.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics from Align, the probiotic brand recommended by gastroenterologists 2 times more than any other probiotic brand. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel at AlignProbiotics.com.
Lots of questions about retirement, lots of questions about the volatile stock market, and Brian Singer and the Singer Financial team have the answers to those questions. They take care of all the complicated stuff when it comes to retirement, and they also help you with the fun stuff, like planning a vision for retirement. What does your retirement look like? And Brian Singer and the Singer Financial team can take care of all that.
Whatever your vision of retirement is, let the amazing experts at the Singer Financial Group walk you through the process and come up with a plan specific for you. Every plan they create is specific for the individual. So whether you want to have full-on retirement, maybe a work optional lifestyle, moving somewhere warm for the winter, whatever it is, let the Singer Financial Group work with you. 317-852-9153. That's 317-852-9153, or go to SingerFinancialGroup.com.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 5.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 5.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.75% fixed. 6.991% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Inspired by your nerves of steel and the nerves and joints that help our bodies go. Inspired by longer walks and breakthrough joint replacements that keep you in step. We're inspired to deliver the best in orthopedic care because at Franciscan Health, we're inspired by you. To learn more, visit franciscanhealth.org/orthocare. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1-HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com and keep your cool. We're
Always on time, or you don't pay a dime.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
So we'll see you for Josh's birthday, right, Dad?
You can count on it.
This phone conversation would never have taken place without the technology of the new CapTel Caption phone. For those individuals who have difficulty hearing over the phone, the CapTel Caption phone simply displays what is being said on a bright, easy-to-read screen.
Josh, Grandpa's coming to your birthday party.
The new CapTel Caption phone from Relay, Indiana. Don't wait another minute. Visit RelayIndiana.com today.
Right now, your home equity is at an all-time high, but don't wait. How much can you get? Let's find out today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
B has more than white windows. B offers total design choices.
B lets you virtually design colors to match the character of your home.
Trust me.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Northbound 65 Boone County stop. State Road 32 past US 52. Southbound lane slow into 52. Eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65 jams at west. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Favors B Window. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Yeah, you heard Nigel mention this earlier. Tickets on sale for a night with WIBC. Thursday night, October 27th. We're doing it at Butler this year. This is going to sell out. It sells out every single year. I was told we're down to 200 tickets and less.
Oh, wow.
Now, this is a bigger venue that we're doing this year. There's only 200 tickets left, so buy your tickets now. We've got the link posted on our Facebook, our Twitter. It's on WIBC's, or you could just search Ticketmaster for WIBC. We're going to hang out. We're going to drink together. We're going to talk a lot of smack. We can say whatever we want to. A night with WIBC. Tickets on sale now. Buy them before they sell out. 70 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Coming up after 5 o'clock, some just very weird, bizarre Orwellian language coming from the United Nations. I know that's a shocker, but this involves the climate change agenda and the science behind it. We'll get to that after 5 o'clock. Bruce Springsteen's going to release a cover album in November. This does nothing for me. I'm sure it maybe does a little something for Bruce Springsteen superfan Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey show. But anytime an artist releases a quote-unquote cover album, it just kind of tells me they're like, yeah, I really don't feel like putting the work into writing my own material.
Right.
I'll just cover somebody else's material and throw it out there and hope it gets a few dollars.
So what's he doing here? Like Sir Mix-a-Lot hits? Is he going to do Call Me Maybe? Is that going to be on this album?
Like the Commodores and the Walker Brothers, okay. The sun ain't going to shine anymore type of thing. He's covering the Supremes and things like that. So he is kicking off. Maybe this is ahead of his tour. He's kicking off, I think, next February. Closest it's getting to Indy, I think, is Columbus, Ohio in March. And, okay, I've never been the world's greatest Bruce Springsteen fan. Dude's 73 years old, man. He still sounds good.
He still sounds good. He gets out there and he puts on a great show. Like if you buy a ticket, a really, really, really expensive ticket to go see him, he'll put on a good show. But I don't know. The covers thing just sounds a little lame. There's a difference between ending your concert with a fun cover song and doing a whole album of cover songs. And don't forget, Hammer and Nigel Records, we did a cover song of Bruce Springsteen after he got busted with that little DUI incident on the bike.
And we learned today that Bruce Springsteen is now facing a drunk driving charge in New Jersey. The National Park Service confirming he was arrested in Sandy Hook in November. He was cited for alleged DWI, reckless driving. Authorities say he was cooperative during his arrest. TMZ now reporting he has a court date in a few weeks.
I debuted my new commercial on the big game Sunday night. I didn't think it was controversial. Just want us all to unite.
All right.
Well, late Tuesday night, I got a call from my agent. He said, we got a problem, boss.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a bunch of reporters found out you got arrested for driving
I forgot. That was right after his Super Bowl commercial with, I think it was Jeep.
Right.
Was that it?
It was some vehicle company. I can't remember.
I thought it was Jeep, and it was a Super Bowl commercial, and it was very healing and uniting. And then, the day after, we found out that he did a shot or two of tequila with some people in a park.
Right.
Riding his motorcycle or something like that.
He ultimately got out of it, too. Of course,
he did.
if you're rich and you're famous and you've seen glory days, you get a pass compared to the folks you see driving up and down your neighborhood street on a scooter at about 7, 8 at night. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we've got the top stories of the day. Kamala Harris, kind of racist, I think it's fair to say. Kind of racist, this statement about the hurricane, and a very special anniversary we're going to celebrate. That's next.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box, all for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics from Align, the probiotic brand recommended by gastroenterologists 2 times more than any other probiotic brand. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel at AlignProbiotics.com.
Guys, if you need an annual health exam, check out the Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They'll check all of your levels, not just your T level. In most cases, it's completely covered by your health insurance. And if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 for a full lab panel and office visit with the medical provider. And they give you a complete health assessment. Low T Center, specializing in men's health. Go to lowtcenter.com right now. Book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spine care to learn more.
This is Ryan again, owner of Plumbing Heating Paramedics, your trained comfort specialist. Buying a new air conditioner or furnace is a big decision and can be pricey. That's why we recommend getting 3 quotes. Just make sure we are one of them. Why? Because the PHP guarantee says, if I can't beat a competitor's price by 10%, then I will give you $100. Dad always said, do quality work and serve every customer better than your competition. So let our family serve you. Visit saving10%.com and remember, it's hard to stop a train.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Governor Holcomb is in Europe this week. The trip could mean more jobs for Hoosiers. And John Herrick reports on a fatal crash on the northeast side this morning. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
A pledge to Puerto Rico. Elisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden visiting the U.S. territory and vowing to rebuild, not just from Hurricane Fiona last month, but from the mass devastation of Hurricane Maria 5 years ago.
And I mean rebuild it all, and rebuild it in a resilient way. So you don't, when storms come again, which they will, they're not having the damage they caused before.
He is also planning a visit to Florida, where Hurricane Ian has laid waste to some communities, killing more than 80 people. In some of the flood zones, search and rescue operations continue. Disruptions delay the start of jury selection for a man accused of killing 6 people, injuring dozens more, by driving his SUV through a Christmas parade in Wisconsin last year. The suspect, Darrell Brooks, wants to represent himself, but repeatedly interrupted today's proceedings. The judge calling 10 recesses, ordering him back to his cell and eventually into a different room to take part remotely. Brooks is charged with more than 60 counts, including first-degree intentional homicide. Police in California think a serial killer may be stalking the streets of Stockton.
5 men have been shot dead since July, all late at night or early in the morning while walking alone in largely unlit areas of the city.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. The killings began in early July. The most recent was last Tuesday.
Police have ruled out gang violence, robbery, and hate crimes, even though 4 of the victims are Hispanic. So the motivation of the shooter or shooters is unknown.
Stockton police have announced an $85,000 reward in the case, and they released an image of a person of interest dressed in all black, wearing a black cap. They're in videos from several of the crime scenes, but so far no footage of anyone holding a gun or committing any crime. A good start to the month and the fourth quarter on Wall Street. The Dow gaining 765 points, finishing just under 29,500. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How the governor's spending his time overseas. 70 and sunny in downtown Indy. Radar's clear, and you've got a low of 39 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The governor's trip to Europe this week may help bring more business to Indiana, says Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers, who's with the governor in Germany and Switzerland.
We had a trip to Slovakia earlier in the year, and out of that trip, just through a couple of the meetings we had, we've now announced a EV battery supplier that's choosing Indianapolis for an R&D facility, and then to a battery factory after that.
When companies do business here, Chambers says it means higher wages and lower taxes for you because the companies are paying enough to keep them low. Indy Metro Police are looking for 24-year-old Bernard Caluet. He was last seen near the intersection of Georgetown and Lafayette Roads Saturday. He's 5'11", 160 pounds with black hair and brown eyes, say police. If you know where he might be, call IMPD. A red Chrysler sedan caught on fire on the northeast side of Indy this morning. John Herrick reports.
Police say the driver of that sedan crashed it, and then it caught fire around 2:30, just a few blocks away from the intersection of East 62nd Street and Benford Boulevard. That's near a neighborhood, and the driver of the sedan was killed. Investigators are trying to figure out what made the driver crash. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man from Indianapolis was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison after police found him with over half a pound of meth, 4 ounces of cocaine, and more than 12,000 pills that were filled with meth. Arthur Miles was the man sentenced. He was arrested twice, once in May of last year when the cops found him with the drugs, and again while on pretrial release. Indiana Task Force 1 is still helping with search and rescue efforts in Florida after Hurricane Ian. On Twitter, they said they were helping in Fort Myers today. The Indianapolis Colts have ruled out linebacker Shaquille Leonard and defensive end Tyquan Lewis with concussions. The Colts play Thursday night against the Broncos in Denver. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
The Inflation Reduction Act made more subsidy money available to help qualified people who don't get health insurance on the job and early retirees afford their Obamacare plans. At myhealthinsurance.com, they specialize in helping you find the right plan that works best for you. Visit myhealthinsurance.com to see if you're eligible for a subsidy. Shop and enroll online or find a local licensed insurance agent. myhealthinsurance.com is a brand owned by IHC Specialty Benefits Incorporated, an independent licensed insurance agency. myhealthinsurance.com.
Imagine if McDonald's was always within reach. Chicken McNuggets, golden crispy fries, all in the palm of your hand. With the McDonald's app, you don't have to imagine. Exclusive deals on all your delicious favorites are just a tap away.
Buy one sandwich and get one free, like the juicy tender crispy chicken sandwich, only in the McDonald's app. Valid through October 23rd at participating McDonald's. Valid one time daily. Excludes all double QPC sandwiches. McD app download and registration required.
With traffic at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
Northbound 65, Boone County. It is a crash at US 52 in the fast lane in a construction zone. And traffic has stopped to stop and go back to State Road 32. Eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone past Allisonville Road. East side southbound 465 jams at 70, then slow to 74. Traffic sponsored by Audible. The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more, all in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial, audible.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and cool throughout the evening hours tonight. Lows will fall to 42. Another beautiful day on Tuesday, mostly sunny skies and pleasant with highs near 71. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos? On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it! Hammer, it's so funny how many things the White House has had to walk back after the idiots out in front say something stupid, whether it be Joe Biden or Kamala Harris.
I think it sucks we have to tell you which idiot we're talking about.
I mean, the list is long with Joe Biden, including, he wants to replace Putin as, he wants a regime change in Russia. What did they just walk back last week? I can't even remember. There's so many.
Anybody that voted for Donald Trump, you're an extreme MAGA terrorist.
Oh, no, that's not what not all, everybody, just the extremists. And now I'm just reading the White House is walking back Kamala Harris's comments that she made. She said that over the weekend, the rebuilding of the infrastructure in Florida after the hurricane is going to be decided by giving resources based on equity and directing funds to communities of color.
It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities.
So if you have white skin, back of the line.
Right.
All right. Back to the line, guys.
No generator for you if you're a whitey, according to Kamala Harris.
And even DeSantis's reelection campaign representative, Christina Pushaw. Did I pronounce it right? Pushaw? I think it's Pushaw. She immediately after Kamala Harris said that, she said, quote, "This is false. VP's rhetoric is causing undue panic, must be clarified. FEMA assistance is available to all Floridians impacted by Hurricane Ian. And now the White House has come out and said, "Well, no, that's not what she was saying. She was talking about long-term investments. She wasn't talking about the FEMA aid for hurricane. That's not what she was. It's so funny how Karine Jean-Pierre is left to clean up the messes made by the two idiots in charge.
And she's an idiot, too. She's not very good at her job. Like, you heard her response last week when Joe Biden was looking around for the dead woman to call on, former Indiana Congresswoman Jackie Wolarski, and she got real snotty and real snarky with everybody in the room, which is just the wrong approach to go through once one of your superiors makes an ass of themselves. But anyway, now we've got the FEMA admin staff walking everything back. Yep. This is Deanne Criswell. She went on Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan.
We are going to provide assistance to all Floridians because we know that there are people that are just completely devastated from this storm. We are going to be there to support everybody that needs help.
The Vice President's comments were about if you have a different skin color, you're going to get relief. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, again, Margaret, our programs support everybody. I would say I believe some of the things the Vice President was talking about are the long-term recovery and rebuilding these communities to be able to withstand disasters so they can have less impact. We're going to support all communities. I committed that to the governor. I commit to you right here that all Floridians are going to be able to get the help that is available to them.
You know who Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are right now? They're the Indianapolis Colts. Self-inflicted errors. You know, Matt Ryan fumbles a million times. Kamala Harris says your skin color is how you're going to be able to get help from a hurricane. It's really the same type of situation, isn't it?
It's just embarrassing, and it really is. That's a great comparison, but it's just embarrassing again. Like, Biden and his rhetoric about Taiwan and how they're willing to do anything to back Taiwan in terms of China, but when in reality we haven't made our policy known about that. You remember when Biden was speaking to American troops, and he goes, "Yeah, it's pretty bad in Ukraine. You're going to find out
when you get there. You're going to see."
Immediately, Ron Klain's head spinning around, and they walk that. I mean, it's just walk back after walk back after walk back. It's ridiculous.
Kyle, can I get a little mood music, please?
Yeah, Boingo Boingo.
Love this movie. One of my favorite movies of the 80s.
Absolutely.
So you remember back when Dr. Fauci was still a thing? And he basically said that if you disagree with science, you're disagreeing with me. I am the science, basically.
A lot of what you're seeing as attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
Oh, okay.
I still say he got that from an episode of Trailer Park Boys. He got that idea where Leahy looks at Randy and goes, "I am the liquor."
So now that Dr. Fauci's about to hang him up and, he's about to retire, the question becomes, who gets dibs on being the science?
Who owns the science now?
Well, now it sounds like the secretary for the UN has called dibs.
We're shocked to see that when we Googled climate change, we were getting incredibly distorted information right at the top. So we're becoming much more proactive. We own the science, and we think that the world, should know it.
You own the science. The UN owns the science now.
And she went on to say stuff about how Google's pushing those stories down. So basically you have the UN and Google are colluding to squash anything that pushes back on the climate cultist agenda. You heard her say it just then. And they can do this now because they, quote, own the science.
They own the science.
Zero debate. Zero dissent. They own the science. They know infinitely better than you. And the science on climate change, according to them, is settled. And they can say it's settled because they own the science.
I missed that passing of the torch from Fauci to the UN. Like, remember when Jordan retired and it was kind of understood that now it's Kobe Bryant's league? There was that passing of the torch, so to speak. You know, when Bird and Magic retired, it went to Jordan. When Jordan left, it went to Kobe. When Fauci retired, it went to the UN. That's who owns the science now. Yesterday, Nige, was a very special day.
Yeah.
It was my 45th birthday
Happy
yesterday, but it was, more importantly, a great anniversary in this country. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of one of the great moments in live sports history. NASCAR Xfinity race car driver Brandon Brown won a race in Talladega, and then we got this.
Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, and you can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon.
That was 1 year ago yesterday, Nige.
I don't even know who that reporter
Kelly Stavist.
Okay, so but have you ever heard? Like, I'm just trying to figure out in my head a year later if she was that smart to cover on the fly. If does she have some sort of agenda, or did she honestly not know they were saying F Joe Biden and thought they were actually saying let's go Brandon? I'm all over the place on it.
One of three different outcomes here, right? Did she really feel like they were saying let's go Brandon? Because you could tell that's not what they were saying.
Of course.
Or, you're right, did she have some sort of lib agenda? Or was she really just really good on the fly and said, hey, I didn't want that broadcast on TV, so I'm going to make a little reference here, a little joke? I have no idea.
It turned into a pop culture phenomenon nationwide.
And if you notice, if you follow racing, you haven't seen her a whole lot this year. Like, she has not been seen a lot on NBC's coverage, but that started a change. Everybody went from chanting FJB, which I think we know what that stands for, to Let's Go Brandon. We had our show in Shelbyville, Nigel, if you remember, at Putters, and this was just a couple days after this incident, and this is how people in Shelbyville reacted when we opened up an hour.
We are live in Shelbyville at Putters. The Hammer and Nigel Roadshow in Shelbyville, live from Putters. My name is Nigel. That's Jason Hammer. Guy Relford is joined. Do you hear a chant?
Something about a NASCAR driver. I don't know what it
is. And, man, I tell you what, Joe Biden, being, as dumb as he is, he had no idea that was like a joke or they're even making fun of him. Somebody called in. Because every year at Christmas time, the president and the first lady, they chat with NORAD and they talk about, Santa's sleigh and the reindeer, if everybody's going to be good. But then they take calls from people around the country. This is what happened when somebody called and got through to speak with Dr. Jill and Joe.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. I agree.
You probably had no idea what he was talking about.
No idea. He just basically said, I agree with FJB. That's your guy. 80+ million votes right there. That's your guy. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Northbound 65 Boone County. It's a crash at US 52 blocking the left lane. And traffic stopped back to State Road 32. East side, eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone to Allisonville Road. Crash Madison at Hannah on the south side. Delays all the way into the intersection. And 21st and Post, that's a wreck. Traffic sponsored by Audible. The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcast, and more, all in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial, audible.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Go, Brandon. I agree.
Oh, man. And again, a night with WIBC, since the last time I mentioned it, we just sold 6 more tickets. So, again, I want you guys to be there. We want this to be a full-on Hammer and Nigel show invasion. Like when we do our road shows, Nige, Shelbyville, where we went down to Thompson Furniture in Columbus.
That was nuts.
Hammer and Nigel Nation showed up. I want that at a night with WIBC. So get your tickets now. Right now, we got sunshine 71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We got legal stuff next.
When traffic's a bear, Matt Bear is a beast.
And now we have a crash southbound 69 and 96th Street. Traffic absolutely soul-crushing.
When you need to get from here
Crashes on the east side, south side,
to there.
North side, crashes everywhere. An absolute car apocalypse today in the Circle City.
Matt Bear.
Delays, and when I say delays, I mean stop traffic continues to build.
Mornings and afternoons.
So you're going to want to change your reroute. In fact, I'll tell you right
93 WIBC.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Hi, this is Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities and the volunteers who use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live. In the past year, we've had the honor of recognizing many fellow Hoosiers who go above and beyond. Do you know someone who volunteers their time at a local animal shelter, or leads a park cleanup, or delivers meals to those who need a little extra help? If so, nominate them for the Jiffy Lube Do More program at jiffylubeindiana.com. Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep your vehicle on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. Plus, we've been Indiana's favorite locally owned oil change since 1985. So visit jiffylube.com, do more to nominate someone in your community. That's jiffylube.com, do more.
Innovation in cancer treatment doesn't just bring a new level of care. It brings a new level of hope. At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're providing access to even more potentially groundbreaking Phase 1 clinical trials to our communities. And any one of them could lead to the next big breakthrough, setting us all on a path to eliminating the disease once and for all. Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Accumulation, preservation, generation. At Busey Bank, these are the principles we use to build meaningful financial partnerships with our clients and their families. With sound advice and vast resources, partner with Busey for a personalized approach to your legacy. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com. And we're back. The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Hammer's over there. So you're a Beech Grove guy. You had to. Did they hit homecoming? Your kids go to Beech Grove, right?
Right.
And so you kind of oversaw the floats, or what were you doing? Or your son did?
Yeah. So my son is the senior class president, El Presidente, Chris Hammer. And all week long, he and some select classmates, they worked their butt off to build this awesome-looking homecoming float. And it was really good. And unfortunately, there was no parade. They decided to cancel the parade, and they weren't allowed to take it around the football field because the referendum track, apparently, we can't damage that. So
it's pretty much standard practice for 100 years. People have the floats. They parade them around the track, and it's during homecoming. That's
right.
It happens at every school, everywhere.
And because this is a new track and everybody, was so scared to death of it, so you weren't allowed to take the trailer and the float on the track. So this awesome float that they made just got propped up next to the stadium, which is fine. People were taking pictures on it. It looked really good. It was a great, great homecoming. And I'm really proud of El Presidente for bringing this back, because he could have easily just said, you know what, screw it, we're not doing it. He wanted to bring this tradition back, and so many people, I don't want to say they made this difficult, but he rocked this thing out, man. He was a rock star, and I want to thank a couple people too. Cutter's Landscaping, Cutterz. They provided the big long trailer for us. Thank you to those guys. And Mike Turner Photography. They took some amazing photos. They also provided some help with getting the trailer up there. So Mike Turner Photography in Beech Grove, Cutter's Landscape, thank you. And to all of the folks that made homecoming a success at Beech Grove this past weekend, rock on. I appreciate it.
Do you call the games on the PA?
No, that's a dude that's been there since I was playing there.
Okay,
he's still on the mic. I'm the hype guy. So when you go to a Pacers game, there's the PA guy, and then there's the people that you see hanging up there by the drum lines and the hype guy. I'm kind of the hype guy, and I run all the music at the stadium.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Right on.
And that was another thing Chris wanted to do. He wanted to make the football games fun again. So he made me the hype guy. I play all the music. We try to get the crowd involved. He's got pictures of all the seniors that rotate up on the scoreboard.
They did that at the Indy Fuel games and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, man, he's really taken his presidency seriously, making high school fun again after what's been a kind of a crappy 4-year run with COVID and masks and all this other crap. So, again, shout out. Thank you, Cutters. Thank you, Mike Turner Photography, and Chris Hammer, and everybody that came out for homecoming, the Lancer family. God bless you. All right, Mondo, let's do some legal stuff. Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Gavin Newsom has been signing a bunch of new bills into law. This one will punish doctors who spread COVID misinformation. And again, I'd like to know who gets to decide what is and what isn't COVID misinformation or disinformation.
Didn't they tell Alex Berenson he had a lot of misinformation once?
That's Twitter kicked him off the platform for saying something that was actually proven to be true months later, and they had to put him back on. He sued him and got back on. Yeah, we've had him on the show several times. How about another one? You ready for this? Gavin Newsom signing a bill into law decriminalizing jaywalking. You are now allowed to jaywalk in California.
Does anybody ever really get arrested for jaywalking?
You get ticketed.
You get ticketed. I don't know if I've ever seen it. I got to be honest. Of all the dumb things that Gavin Newsom has done, and there is a lot, this is the one that doesn't bother me as much. If you want to let somebody jaywalk, go ahead. Especially in California, it feels like you got bigger fish to fry with the crime they're having out there.
They're saying it's going to end racial profiling.
Okay. That's fine.
You're implying that a certain segment of the population breaks the law more than others.
So only
that's the implication.
Only minorities jaywalk, and because that's the case, apparently it's profiling if you call them out on it.
Quote: "It should not be a criminal offense to safely cross the street when expensive tickets and unnecessary confrontations with police impact only certain communities. It's time to reconsider how we use our law enforcement resources, whether our jaywalking laws really do protect pedestrians." I thought that's the whole point of jaywalking, is to keep pedestrians safe.
Right.
Hey, idiot, don't cross out. There's no crosswalk here. There's 4 lanes of traffic. You almost got yourself killed. You could get other people killed.
Well, the good news is if it happens in LA, you don't have to worry about anybody getting arrested because that DA isn't going to send anybody to jail. If you jaywalk, if you run somebody over intentionally, just high five, get up, and everybody move on with your lives. Nobody gets arrested in Los Angeles. That's why they tried to recall him, but they found out some of these signatures weren't legit.
Funny how that worked.
Also, Gavin Newsom signing a bill to limit the use of hip-hop lyrics in criminal trials. So basically, rap lyrics can no longer be used as a defense for somebody to say that they were motivated by a song to go out and commit some sort of crime. That's what Gavin Newsom is spending his time on right now.
See, I thought it was, okay, like I thought it was like if you get arrested for murder, but you're like an amateur rapper or something like that, and you rap about it in your lyrics, they can't use it that way.
That may be a part of this, but the big reason is you can't say that you were motivated to go commit a crime because of something Dr. Dre said. You can't get Dr. Dre in trouble, basically. He's protecting the rap community with this legislation. To which I have a couple questions, though. Is he implying that black artists threaten violence in their music and that black people jaywalk more than others? Like, all of this coming together at the same time seems a little racist on Gavin Newsom's behalf. Number two, what will this legislation mean for our long-running fight for our right to party? Are we allowed to do that with lyrics? Do the Beastie Boys count as rap lyrics? And what about other lyrics? Are we allowed to have other lyrics in songs be used in courts? Can you imagine telling a judge, you know, I wanted to walk away from this situation, but then I decided to murder 8 people and 4 horses because I heard this? Is this what Gavin Newsom wants? Is this okay, Gavin? Celine Dion? Why are we protecting the rap community and not Celine Dion? I don't get it. All right, we've got Kevin Bowen coming up next. Right now, let's take a look at the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A pledge to Puerto Rico. 69 and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Low of 39 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. President Biden is announcing federal funding to help Puerto Rico recover from horrible damage caused by Hurricane Fiona.
And you deserve every bit of help your country can give you. That's what I'm determined to do, and that's what I promise you.
Biden pledged to ensure Puerto Rico received funding it needs after similar struggles following Hurricane Maria in 2017. Florida has a long way to go with their recovery efforts, especially in places that got the worst of Hurricane Ian, like Sanibel Island.
There is complete destruction in every direction. Some of these houses were simply blown off their foundation 50 or 100 yards. Others are flipped upside down. Others, the roofs and the windows, the sidewalls, all blown off. Already at least 4 people dead, but search and rescue operations continue here, and officials say the island is not safe for residents.
Fox's Steve Harrigan. Indiana Task Force 1 is still there today, helping with search and rescue. Indy Metro Police are looking for 24-year-old Bernard Caluet. He was last seen near the intersection of Georgetown and Lafayette Roads Saturday. He's 5'11", 160 pounds with black hair and brown eyes, say police. IMPD says that he may have a medical condition, and if you know anything, give them a call. You may not realize how many companies from other countries are doing business in Indiana.
We've got over 1,000 companies, international businesses, and countries represented in our economic output.
Indiana Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers is selling a trip this week to Europe by he and Governor Holcomb. Says foreign companies pay taxes here, and the more they do, the less taxes people have to pay. He says it also means higher paying jobs. If you're nervous or worry a lot, that's normal. But when it happens often and stays with you, you may need professional support, says Dr. Annie Mary Montero, a clinical psychologist with IU Health.
I think of this as actually just part of the human condition.
The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force is now recommending people under 65 get screened. And Dr. Montero tells Wish TV screening could be easily added to doctor visits. With traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison stopped in Lebanon, crashed northbound 65 at US 52 Lafayette Avenue. That is the left lane, fast lane, block traffic stop back to State Road 32, 31-minute delay there. And then on the east side, southbound 465 stop and go before 70 past Brookville Road. South side eastbound 465 loads up right around 31 to Emerson Avenue, and a crash on the south side. One at Hannah west of State and another one Madison Avenue at Hannah. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Favors B Window. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and cool throughout the evening hours tonight. Lows will fall to 42. Another beautiful day on Tuesday, mostly sunny skies and pleasant with highs near 71. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. The Colts lose yesterday to the Titans at Lucas Oil 24-17. We'll go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Kevin Bowen from 107.5 The Fan. I'm tired of twisting myself into a pretzel trying to figure out what that is that I watched yesterday, other than it was just a bad football game. So I'll just let you explain to everybody what they witnessed yesterday. What did the Colts fans watch yesterday, that disaster?
Well, it's probably the same old song and dance. It's a bad football team playing in a worse division right now. Just to kind of summarize it up, it's a team that continually gets off to slow starts. It's a team that's offense right now is not only in really kind of scoring the football at any sort of respectable level, but it's also just giving away the football at an extremely alarming rate. It's putting the defense into some really bad situations. And, when you're just another team in the AFC South, that's never a good thing. It's something this franchise is not used to at all, but that's the state of the Colts right now on October 3rd, 2022.
So let's point some fingers here, because this is what we do on Monday following situations like that yesterday. What's been worse? What's been more of a disaster, Kevin? This offensive line that makes more money than any other offensive line in football, or the play of Matt Ryan?
Boy, that's a good and a sad question at the same time. I would say the offensive line, just because you promised Matt Ryan that. You knew what you were getting in Matt Ryan. He's a 36-year-old quarterback that, I use golf analogies frequently. He's walking up the final few holes of this NFL round that he's on. But what you said to him is, we're going to support you. We're going to give you one of the best offensive lines in football. We're going to give you one of the best rushing attacks in football. And you have not given him that. By no means am I absolving Matt Ryan. Nothing I've seen out of him in the first 4 weeks of the season would want me to bring him back for 2023. His ball security, again, is at an extremely, extremely alarming rate right now. But, some of this was whispered about. Not to this level, but some of this was whispered about. Like, there's a reason Atlanta has moved on from such a franchise great, and you haven't given him the constants. You haven't given him the stuff that this organization is supposed to be about. And if I'm Jim Irsay, that might be the most discouraging thing from a Chris Ballard standpoint. Ballard, as a general manager, his roster construction belief is, we're going to be great on the offensive and defensive lines. We're going to be a great team in terms of running the football. And they have not even sniffed that this season.
Kevin Bowen, 107.5 The Fan here, talking a little Colts football. Go back to something you said, dig down a little deeper here with the about slow starts. I mean, I feel like the slow start aspect of this team has been a constant theme for years now.
Yeah, Nigel, it's
like playing from behind always, and then having to dig your way back.
It's kind of two things. They played from behind in seasons a whole lot under Frank Reich. 1-5, 1-4, those types of starts. This year, they're trending in a similar direction. This year, it's been much more of they get behind in games.
Yes.
And actually, you could probably point to last season. That season finale in Jacksonville, a trip to go to the playoffs on the line. You're down 23-3 in that game. Week 1 in Houston this year, you're down 20-3 in that game. Week 2, Jacksonville. 24 to nothing. And then yesterday, 24-3. I mean, those are against the bad AFC South teams around you. Don't tell me that Tennessee team's any good yesterday. No. I mean, that was the worst rushing defense in the NFL. It's a team that signed 3 defensive players in the last month that started for them yesterday and totally shut down Jonathan Taylor. It's an offense that has no playmakers outside of Derrick Henry. And yet they came in here and built a 3-score lead. When you get down 3 scores in the NFL, that is, you cannot survive that. What it creates is no margin for error. So when Jonathan Taylor does have a very rare Jonathan Taylor moment and he fumbles late, game's pretty much over because you're just not good enough and you haven't kept yourself in the game enough to overcome that. That, to me, I kind of answered it from the Irsay Ballard point of view in the previous question. That would be where, if I'm Jim Irsay, I have my biggest questions for Frank Reich. The offense can't score, and the football team, Frank Reich's football team, can't get off the good start. At some point, that comes down on the head coach from a mindset preparation standpoint.
So let's get into Jim Irsay just a little bit here. I'm watching the game at home, and I can hear the boos from the TV screen. I can't imagine what it sounded like inside the stadium when the Colts were getting down 24-3. All through the week, Jim Irsay kept calling for the fans. We need you. We need you PO'd. We need you fired up for this game. At what point does Jim Irsay have to look at this coach and this general manager and say, listen, we've tried everything. You guys are the problem?
Yeah, if you're Jim Irsay yesterday and you see that happen in your own building, and think about how public Jim Irsay was on Twitter last week. You didn't see Jim Irsay very public after the shutout loss to Jacksonville. You saw him really public last week on Twitter. The Tennessee matchup, the fact that his franchise entered yesterday having lost 4 of 5 to Mike Vrabel. It should be noted that Mike Vrabel, their head coach, was hired in the same cycle as Frank Reich. Mike Vrabel actually interviewed before Josh McDaniels was the hire here. So I think there's a lot of just natural pent-up frustration about that for Jim Irsay. And now we've seen one of these ugly performances, ugly starts, divisional loss, happen at home. And I think that's the embarrassment meter to kind of watch with Irsay the rest of this month. What happens when Jacksonville comes into your building in a few weeks? What happens when Carson Wentz comes into your building later this month? Like, if you want to test Jim Irsay's patience and have him do something that, he's never really been in a position to do as owner, and that would be make some significant in-season changes, you drop either or both of those games, I think that could get Irsay to do something.
Really? I mean, you're a guy that worked for the Colts. You did media for the Colts for a number of years. You've been a Hoosier all your life. You've paid attention to the Colts. Yeah, Irsay really doesn't make those kinds of moves in season, does he?
No, and Nigel, I think something to point out is, the Colts franchise haven't really been in this sort of situation. Think about where the preseason expectations were and think about what's developed so far this season. And then you have to factor in the final 2 games of last year. I was making this point on our morning show earlier today. When the Colts have been bad in the Irsay ownership reign, which is 96-ish, right around there, there was always the dangling future at quarterback carrot. Peyton Manning was drafted in 98. The 2001 season, you still had Peyton on the roster. 2011, you knew Andrew Luck was waiting there with the number 1 overall pick. 2017, Andrew Luck was still on the roster. You don't have that this season. And when you make the move for Matt Ryan, you're sending a message to your franchise and saying, by us continuing to go Band-Aid veteran quarterback, we should be held to a higher standard expectation-wise because we're sacrificing, long-term development with a younger guy to try and win here in the short term. So this is it's different for Irsay. I think it's different for Colts fans. I mean, obviously, and I'm speaking probably more for my generation of Colts fans, if you're 40 years or younger, you're not used to this at all from this franchise. And I brought up the offense earlier. Guys, they haven't scored more than 20 points in 6 straight games.
Jesus.
If that stretches to 7 games on Thursday night, that will tie the longest such streak for the franchise since 1993.
So, Kevin, wins and losses aside here, if you take the wins and losses aside, and that's ultimately all that matters, but if the Colts are this boring, is that going to be something Jim Irsay thinks about whether or not he's going to make a move? It's not like they're losing exciting shootout games where crazy things happen. This is a boring, bad football team right now.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Hammer. I mean, it's boring. I think there's a level of apathy I have not seen from the fan base, especially this early in the season in quite some time. The saving grace will be the AFC South leader will not run away. I mean, you will always be in the mix. So if you want to kind of fall on that, I'm not saying that you should, but there's a section of the fan base or even the football team that obviously will continue to play for that AFC South crown. But, I brought up Jacksonville and Washington coming up later this month at Lucas Oil Stadium. If you start to see empty seats, the boo birds continue, you start to have more of those performances at home, that's where I think the Irsay embarrassment meter, continues to rise. So that's the danger in all of this. Like you said, you're not an entertaining product right now. You're the least scoring offense, dead last in the NFL in scoring, 14 points per game. And what are you selling as hope? It's not like you have some young quarterback waiting in the wing. I mean, the Pacers are going to be bad this year, but the Pacers have some young hope. The Colts, at the most important position in football, they don't have that.
KB, if anybody hates themselves and they want to read more about this Tennessee Titans game, or better yet, a preview of what's coming up Thursday, where can they go?
Yeah, I prefer to go with, if you want to cope, you can cope with us over on 1075thefan.com, and then our morning show, Kevin Query, every morning from 7 to 10 on our sister station. So a quick turnaround, just a reminder for Thursday night, Amazon Prime and then the local ABC affiliate will also pick up the game here, RTV6, for those that want to watch the Colts and Broncos on Thursday night.
KB, you're the best. Thank you.
Yep, enjoy it, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Aristotle said that. The Singer Financial Team embodies it so your family can live it. This is Brian Singer. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people.
This is Erica Baker, advisor and team member with Singer Financial. Our clients expect excellence from their financial advisory team. At Singer Financial, our mission is to be the last financial team your family will ever need or want. We understand that requires a deep level of engagement and trust. At Singer Financial, we take the time to get to know you, to understand what you need, and also what you want from your investments. We can help provide answers to the questions you may not even know to ask. That means we don't really have clients. We have relationships with people, relationships with couples, relationships with families who deserve excellence. Feeling valued and trusted by your family is the most rewarding aspect of what we do. That's why our team is committed to excellence. Excellence is what you should expect when you choose to partner with Singer Financial.
The Singer Financial Team has developed and refined a proprietary process designed to help people who are still working create a work-optional lifestyle. We call it the RIM. The Retirement Income Money Map looks at 5 key areas of your financial life and then informs your choices to design a lifestyle as unique as you are. The RIM process puts all the pieces of the puzzle together to increase your chances to live the lifestyle you've imagined for your retirement.
Our team can help make your money live as long as you do. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com to explore the RIM process or call 317-852-9153 to schedule a virtual or in-office discovery visit.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
If you have questions about buying a home or if you're ready to get pre-approved, everything starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
Do you need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
While others are talking about rising interest rates, we are lowering ours.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 5.75% fixed?
Don't get stuck paying the minimum payments on credit cards. The average homeowner has over $60,000 in equity. You deserve to put that cash to work for you.
Our average cash-out customer saves $904 a month. Call 317-706-GOLD for your free mortgage checkup.
Inflation shouldn't win. Our low mortgage rates and your equity make you the winner. And remember, if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 5.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.75% fixed. 6.991% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Crash clear northbound 65 in Lebanon. Still stop and go traffic from exit 138 to State Road 32. And then on the east side, southbound 465 stop and go from 70 down to 74. Slowing down into northbound lanes after Brookville Road up to 70. South side eastbound 465 slows at Harding over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale price on energy efficient B window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Favors B Window. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
70 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer. Jason Hammer is here. We got a full hour of the Hammer and Nigel Show coming up with an update on Hurricane Ian and also the trial for the monster accused of shooting and ultimately killing a Richmond police officer, Sierra Burton. We'll have an update there as well.
So there's a new study out from this group called Gartner. Now,
the Red Gartner?
No, not quite. Something substantially different. Gartner, N-E-R, shows research on what employees expect from their managers now in this post-COVID environment. Because the rules got to change during COVID. Everybody's working from home. People, didn't have pants on. Jeffrey Toobin's doing his Lubin. Like, things were different. But now that people are expected to be back in the workplace, Gartner agency did a survey and broke down some analytics of what people expect from their bosses and employees. Check this out. It says here that employees are looking for bosses who lead by showing empathy. They want a sympathetic boss. They don't want the days of like a ball buster anymore. People coming back to work want to have a nice, happy boss.
Yeah, because having a ball buster of a boss means you have to work.
Right?
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
They say they feel more productive in a happy workplace.
So what kind of boss do you expect? I just expect our guys to give us the tools we need to win. That's all I expect.
Right.
I mean,
support us, give us some tools we need to win, and that's it.
In the early days of my radio career, especially full-time working in a building like I did down on Fall Creek Road with X103 and Q95 and then 1260 WNDE, those management was ruthless. I'd get like great ratings at night, and they'd be like, "Oh, really? Number one at night? Congratulations! You should be one at night. You work for X103." All right, no applause for doing your job, dude. That's the kind of bosses that I had coming up in this business,
and that makes sense because I bet if you play football at Alabama, right, Nick Saban expects you to win. And he's a ball buster, too. You're first team All-American? Everybody is. We're Alabama. That's what we do here. Study.
Never a pat on the back in my early days, especially. Never a pat on the back at all.
The study says just 29% say their supervisors are good at human leadership. Now, I like to think of myself as a solid leader. I know Kyle isn't exactly my employee, but we kind of lead the show here. Kyle kind of works for us.
Our producer, yeah.
And even before Kyle, producer Ari was kind of our underling. Here are some moments where I had to give some constructive criticism to both Ari and Kyle.
Now, what the hell was that?
We had it was 5:14, and we had another story to go.
It was 5:15.
It was 5:15.
The clock right here said 5:15.
Oh, I thought we were.
And I looked over, and you were sitting there clearly on your phone, and I'm going like this.
I thought you had stopped the clip.
No, we always like to go into traffic with like a fun kind of clip. It's always fun to throw it to Matt on a good note. And you're over there texting, looking at naked chicks, and doing all kinds of shit.
I remember that. He was on his phone. Ari wasn't paying attention, and we were trying to go to a break.
Right.
What did he hit? He totally messed that up.
He was playing on his phone. And then there's that one day you and I are in here recording commercials in like a production room.
Right.
And Kyle's in the hallway just yelling, being real loud.
Oh, we could hear him through the soundproof walls. And
right.
It was catching up on our microphones. It was being caught on our microphones, right?
Assistance.
Hey, can you shut the up for 5 seconds?
We're trying to work here. They're outside the studio. They can hear that.
Can you shut the F up for 5 seconds?
Top stories coming up next.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I see so many customers who have struggled to find a wedding band at other stores. When they come to Shane Company,